Chapter 1 wastes zero time diving into chaos. A massive dragon-like monster towers over everything, claws out and roaring like it owns the world. Standing right in its path is one calm young man who looks ready for whatever comes next. He is not alone though. A tiny bright yellow slime floats protectively at his side, boldly declaring it will shield its master. The young man simply watches the beast and notes that it clearly intends to attack. Power erupts in a blinding flash as they strike back together. When the light fades, our hero just exhales, glances at his little companion, and casually admits he is getting hungry. Even in the middle of a monster fight, priorities stay priorities. The tone flips to pure warmth. In a sun-drenched field, the same guy lifts that adorable slime high overhead, both of them smiling like the world is perfect. He looks straight at his tiny friend and makes a simple, heartfelt promise: we will always be together. But the light drains away just as fast. Kneeling alone among twisted dark roots, he cradles the little slime and whispers a quiet apology for ever leaving it by itself. The regret in his voice is impossible to miss. "I'm scared," he admits into the darkness. Suddenly, we are somewhere completely different. A bright high school classroom where a brown-haired student named Yushiro sits looking anything but heroic. His classmates zero in immediately. "Hey Yushiro, you look loose," they laugh, and when he flops face first onto his desk, the whole room piles on with more teasing. Falling asleep in class was probably not the best move. Then mana goes haywire. Yellow lightning crackles wildly from Yushiro's hands, shocking everyone, including himself. The teacher and students scramble while someone yells that this is no time for pranks. Order returns just long enough for a confident blonde girl named Mizuki to shut down the noise without a single trace of fear. The teacher finally seizes control and tells everyone to pay attention. Today, the lesson is dungeon history. Decades ago, mysterious dungeons tore open across the world and rewrote everything humanity thought it knew. People began diving in to gather power, items, and experience points, turning conquest into the new normal. The teacher calls it both destiny and a possible curse. Talk turns to the nightmare difficulty of SS rank dungeons, places crawling with S-class monsters where countless awakeners have simply vanished. Even stepping through the entrance is said to be impossible for most. The class mocks the idea that anyone weak could ever manage it. That is when Yushiro suddenly slams his hand down and shouts that it is true. He really did go into a G-rank dungeon. After school, he sits alone under a tree until Mizuki finds him, clearly worried. Before they can talk, a group of guys storms over and tells Yushiro to stay away from her. The bullying is back in full force. They throw down a challenge: bring back a photo from a G-rank dungeon as proof or stop talking forever. Yushiro's expression hardens. He looks them straight in the eye and raises the stakes, declaring he will bring back proof from even higher. He tells Mizuki not to worry and that he has his own reasons for going. As the sun sets, he climbs onto a bike and heads straight for the forest, determination written all over his face. The path grows darker and quieter with every turn. Deep among the trees, he finally stops in front of a yawning, dark entrance. A heavy sound echoes from inside as Yushiro stares into the shadows and quietly says the words that change everything. This is it. Whatever waits beyond that gate is about to meet the kindest soul in the world, and one tiny forgotten slime is never going to be the same. Chapter 2 opens on our good-hearted guy Takumi trekking through a sun-dappled forest that feels oddly familiar. Stick in hand, he mutters that this is the place, eyes sharp with quiet determination. A bold no-entry sign bars the path to a dark cave mouth, but that only makes Takumi more curious. He steps right toward the shadows, already calling out a soft name into the gloom. "Prune? Are you Purun, right? It is me, Takumi." A cheerful Purun sound answers him from the dark. He leans in hopefully, only to find a round pink creature bouncing there instead. The little pink one looks just as lonely as he feels. Takumi wonders aloud if Purun is out there alone too. then lets a passing butterfly pull his thoughts somewhere gentler. This whole stretch of woods always meant something when he was young. Standing here now, Takumi drinks in the peaceful view and realizes his childhood memories still live in every tree and path. He even lifts an old camera, thinking back to days when people still filled places like this. Maybe, he hopes, something precious is still waiting for him among these quiet trees. Those warm thoughts last about 3 seconds. Glowing eyes lock on him from the brush, and a thunderous force slams into Takumi hard enough to send the whole forest shaking. He goes tumbling with a startled yell, crashing down into a deep hole as claws rake the air above. Panic hits full force while the ground keeps dropping out from under him. When the dust settles, Takumi stares up in pure shock. A massive dragon looms over the pit, sneering that this weak human never even noticed the ambush coming. A wicked scythe-like tail swings close enough to make him freeze. Takumi can only breathe the word dragon while the beast laughs and tells him he is free to scurry around like the pathetic thing he is. But Takumi refuses to stay down. He pushes to his feet, grips a plain wooden stick, and fires back that his name is not Trash, it is Takumi. Today he is going to hunt this dragon. The dragon finds the challenge hilarious and unleashes a storm of purple energy. Takumi leaps and twists for his life, yet one solid blow still catches him square and knocks the air right out of him. Foolish human, the dragon rumbles, gathering a searing fireball. Crumpled on the ground, Takumi can only whisper an apology to the little slime he once saved, certain this is where the adventure ends. Then the impossible happens. A brilliant golden light erupts around Takumi, swirling brighter and brighter until even the dragon has to shield its eyes from the sudden power. When the glow fades, a very familiar yellow blob is right there in the dirt, looking equal parts worried and ready to throw hands. Takumi scoops Pruin up, and the memory crashes over him like a wave. It was the day of his very first field trip. Little Takumi had never seen a real slime before, and the moment Pruin bounced into view, everything changed. That tiny, weak-looking blob looked straight at him and simply said its name. The trip itself was pure carnival magic, a glittering parade, a beautiful princess waving from her float, and young Takumi grinning ear to ear. For one perfect afternoon, the world felt safe and full of wonder. But the second those giant monster dolls appeared, pure childhood terror took over. Little Takumi turned and ran as hard as he could, straight into the dark, and straight toward the moment that would one day save his life. Chapter 3 drops us right into the thick of it with Taishi, our ordinary guy freshly yanked into this fantasy world, wandering a rainy forest with zero idea where he is. No monsters, no people, just him calling out for his mom and dad as the sky opens up and everything starts feeling a little too real. The rain gets heavier, the path gets darker, and Taishi's nerves start fraying. He keeps scanning the trees, heart pounding, until he spots a cave that looks like the only dry spot left in this whole forest. Inside the cave, it feels like a proper dungeon, quiet and a little spooky, and right there in the middle of the floor sits the tiniest, roundest yellow slime you have ever seen, just blinking up at him like it has been waiting. Taishi's eyes light up. A real live slime. He crouches down for a closer look, completely forgetting he is supposed to be terrified, and the little guy just wobbles there looking soft and harmless. That peaceful moment lasts about 3 seconds. A massive minotaur stomps out of the shadows, snorting and clearly deciding dinner just walked in. Taishi freezes, knowing full well he is way too weak to do anything about it. He actually apologizes to the little slime, telling it he is sorry he is too weak to save anyone. But then something clicks. Instead of running alone, Taishi scoops that slime up and bolts for the exit like his life depends on it. They explode out of the cave together, rain still pouring, Taishi clutching the slime tight and yelling for it to hold on. He names it Purun on the spot, and just like that, the two of them are a team, whether the world likes it or not. Safe in the trees, Taishi hugs Purun and makes a quiet promise. Even if he cannot form a contract yet, he is going to protect this little guy. Kindness already won, and Prune is not going anywhere if he can help it. Reality crashes back in when Academy folks show up and shut the whole thing down. Taishi is still too low rank to keep a monster companion, so they order him to take Purin right back where he found it. Before he leaves, Taishi shares the only thing he has, a piece of bread. Purin lights up like it is the best meal in the world, and Taishi can barely look at that happy little face while he explains he's just too weak to stay. He walks away, promising he will get stronger and come back. Behind him, Purin watches, still smiling but looking just a little lonely in the middle of that big, empty path. A whole year passes. Taishi trains like crazy, but nothing changes. No talent, no power, just the same ordinary guy who once saved a slime and has regretted leaving it every single day since. Then the day finally comes. Taishi finds Purin again, only this time the little slime is glowing with ridiculous power and has apparently just finished off a full-grown dragon like it was nothing. Purin is over the moon to see him, bouncing and calling his name. Taishi can barely believe it. The weakest slime he once saved is now the strongest thing around, and it still only wants one person in the entire world. Purin tries to form a contract right then and there, but Taishi still cannot make one the normal way. Just when it seems impossible, a glowing interface appears out of nowhere with a very unexpected offer. The contract is crystal clear. Will Yusakura Taishi inherit every last one of Purin's absurd abilities? Taishi does not even hesitate. He is taking the deal, and whatever comes next, this clingy, overpowered slime is never leaving his side again. Chapter 4 picks up with our ordinary guy, Asakura Taichi, staring at a glowing contract floating right in front of him. The question is simple and life-changing. Will he inherit Purin's ability? One kind heart, one tiny slime, and now the biggest choice of his new life. Taichi barely hesitates. He reaches out and slams the yes button. Light explodes around him like a second sunrise, and suddenly the weakest slime's power is rushing straight into the guy who saved it. When the glow fades, Taichi is back on his feet, checking himself over. Nothing looks different on the outside, but deep down he can feel it. Something huge just clicked into place between him and Purin. A memory hits him hard. Someone once told him you cannot make a contract with a monster stronger than yourself. For a second, Taichi worries the whole thing failed because he is still just a regular guy. Then a familiar, soft voice chirps right above his head. Purin never left at all. The little slime is perched on him like it owns the place, and Taichi's worry melts into pure relief. Purin suddenly hops off and starts acting strange, almost like it is hiding something big. Taichi watches the little golden blob bounce around and realizes his partner has been keeping secrets about just how strong it can become. That is when the black dragon appears. Taichi puts the pieces together fast. Purin can actually evolve into something that powerful, and right now the slime is staring at the dragon like it is the tastiest snack in the world. Before Taichi can stop it, Purin surges forward and the two of them end up soaring on a massive golden form, facing down the black dragon like it is nothing. The weakest slime just keeps proving it is anything but weak. After the dust settles, Taichi holds Purin close and finally says what has been in his heart. He is happy they are not apart anymore. From now on, they live this life together. No more secrets, just the two of them. Of course, the peaceful moment cannot last. A massive dark figure erupts from the ground, a demon beast so strong it makes even black dragons look small. The real threat of the chapter has arrived. The demon lunges. Purin does not hesitate for a second. It wraps around Taichi in a glowing golden shield, taking the hit so its precious human does not have to feel a thing. Claws and dark energy slam into the barrier again and again. Purin holds strong, but Taichi can see the strain. This demon is on another level, the kind that can bring black dragons down. Taichi makes a call. He tells Purin they need to switch places. If the slime keeps tanking everything alone, even its ridiculous power might not be enough. It is time for the human to step up too. In the middle of the chaos, Taichi finally understands what the contract really gave him. He can feel Purin's power flowing through him now. He knows how the slime fights, how it protects, and exactly how to protect it right back. Golden light erupts around Taichi as he stands tall beside his partner. The demon beast is still coming, but for the first time, the ordinary guy who only ever wanted to help a tiny slime is ready to fight for real. Purin bounces happily onto his shoulder one more time. Taichi smiles and says the words that seal their bond forever. This time for sure, they do it together. Whatever comes next, the weakest slime and the kindest human are ready. After a long day, our ordinary guy finally makes it home with his bicycle, and the second he steps inside, he gets the warmest welcome imaginable. Little Puru pops up with pure joy, and just like that, the quiet apartment feels full of life again. He takes one look around and realizes the place is a total mess. While he starts cleaning, Puru watches with those big, curious eyes, then suddenly freezes like it just spotted something important. That something turns out to be incense. One curious poke later, and Puru is tasting the smoke, declaring it delicious, while our guy can only stare in mild horror at what his slime just decided was a snack. Snack time is officially on. He opens the fridge only to find it completely empty, and Puru is not thrilled, so of course the solution is pure overpowered slime logic. Summon a black dragon right there in the kitchen. One dramatic slam later, the dragon is finished, and Puru proudly presents the black dragon meat. Our guy is equal parts impressed and slightly terrified, but hey, dinner is dinner when you have the strongest slime in the world as a roommate. He tries to figure out how to even cook this legendary meat, and the first attempt goes about as well as you would expect. The whole kitchen erupts in a fiery blast while he stands there holding a knife like a complete beginner. Pooh is not about to let dinner get ruined. The little slime takes over, and in one smooth motion, the impossible black dragon meat is sliced perfectly. Our guy can only watch in awe as his clingy companion turns into a 5-star chef. They sit down together for a proper meal, and the happiness is almost too much. Puru is vibrating with joy just from sharing food with the one person who was ever kind to it, and the apartment feels warmer than any fancy restaurant. One happy bite turns into pure chaos as Puru goes full power mode on the feast. Golden energy explodes everywhere. Plates get cleaned in seconds, and our guy can only laugh at how completely over the top his little slime gets when it is happy. Even after all that food, Puru is somehow still hungry, so our guy keeps cooking. The kitchen turns into a non-stop buffet until finally the little slime is stuffed full and ready to crash for the night. Morning comes and reality hits. He has to go to school, but Puru is not having it. The slime clings on with everything it has, tears and all, because the idea of being left behind is simply unacceptable. After a lot of gentle promises and one very determined hug, Puru finally calms down. Our guy sneaks the little slime into his bag, because there is no way he is leaving his devoted companion home alone. They head out together under the bright sky, Puru safely tucked away. For a moment, everything feels perfect, like the start of another peaceful day with the strongest, clingiest friend anyone could ask for. But the second they reach the school gates, familiar faces appear and the mood shifts. Someone calls out that familiar rank, and suddenly the peaceful morning does not feel so peaceful anymore. Chapter 6 picks right up in the school hallway, and the mood is already tense. A couple of classmates are hanging around waiting, clearly not here for a friendly chat. One of them finally asks the question everyone's been dancing around. Shouta shows up and actually thanks them, polite as ever. For a second, it looks like things might stay calm. A handshake even happens, like maybe the old grudges are water under the bridge. But the second Shouta turns his back, the blonde guy snaps. He cannot stand that the weak kid is walking around with his head held high. One hard shove later, and Shouta is on the floor. That is when a tiny yellow blur rockets into the frame. Purin the slime is furious. The so-called weakest monster just body-checked the bully so hard the guy goes flying. Everyone freezes. The blonde hits the ground hard, staring at the little slime like his brain just short-circuited. That is not ordinary power, he gasps, and for once he is completely right. Shouta just stands there with Pruin perched proudly on his head, still trying to process what just happened. The other two classmates rush over, completely lost. Nobody expected the quiet guy's pet to throw hands. The blonde is not done. He scrambles up, eyes wild, and decides the only answer is more violence. He charges straight at Shouta's group, ready to finish what he started. Shouta steps forward and tells everyone else to stay quiet. He is done letting other people fight his battles. Across the courtyard, a girl watches, already hearing the rumors that Shouta got kicked from the hunting classes. For a dangerous moment, Shouta feels it, the rush of finally being the strong one. He starts talking about superiority and how good it feels to be on top. The same poison that made the bully so cruel is starting to whisper in his ear. The blonde answers with raw lightning crackling around his fists. He tells Shouta this is his last chance to beg. One more cocky word and he is going to wipe the floor with him. Fists fly. The blonde is all rage and power, swinging like he wants to erase Shouta completely. But right when the hit is about to land, a bright yellow streak cuts between them. Pruin is not letting anyone lay a finger on the person who saved it. The little slime smacks the attacker aside again, buying just enough time for a familiar voice to cut through the chaos. It is Mizuki. Standing in the rain, she looks straight at Shouta and tells him not to become like those boys. She reminds him he is a kind person, the same kindness that once saved the helpless slime. Her words hit harder than any punch. Shouta realizes he was starting to enjoy the power, starting to become the very thing he hated. The blonde, of course, is still screaming that he will finish all of them. Shouta simply raises one hand. A seal flares. The next second, the blonde is launched across the courtyard like a rag doll. When the dust settles, something has changed in Shouta's eyes. Dark wings unfurl behind him. The real Shouta is done hiding. He tells them if they want the genuine article, they can come find him. Then he turns and walks away into the rain with Purun right beside him. Mizuki catches up one last time. Shouta quietly says he is quitting school after today. He does not need the uniform anymore. With a soft thank you, he and his ridiculously overpowered slime walk off into the downpour, leaving everyone stunned behind them. Chapter 7 kicks off with the whole school buzzing. Word is flying that Jugan is dropping out and his classmates can barely wrap their heads around it. Our kind-hearted hero has made a huge decision and the ordinary life he knew is about to change forever. Jugan steps out into the quiet school grounds, looking like a guy carrying the weight of the world. Then a bright flash and a familiar little presence remind him he is never truly alone. Right on cue, Fuyuki appears, surprise written all over her face. Fuyuki rushes straight to him, worried he has been fighting with his family again. Jogan just smiles that gentle smile of his and admits home does not feel safe anymore, so he ran. One small act of honesty and you can already see how much she cares. She softens instantly, apologizing for almost losing him earlier. Jugan tells her he understands completely. Even when everything feels shaky, these two keep finding ways to look out for each other. He sheepishly explains he only left school early because he got hungry. Fuyuki cannot help but smile at how simple and honest he is. She asks if there is any way he can keep studying, still hoping he will stay close. But Jugan shakes his head. The power he gained is too much, and he cannot risk losing control around everyone at school. To protect the people he cares about, he needs real training and a proper master. Fuyuki's worry only grows. She knows the path ahead will be hard on his body. That is when the little yellow slime who adores him pops right up onto Jogan's head, cheeks puffed out in pure determination. The slime makes it crystal clear. Nobody is laying a finger on its precious Jugan. Fuyuki watches the two of them and her expression melts into the warmest smile. She tells him she is rooting for him with everything she has. Standing there under the open sky, Fuyuki admits she knows Jogan will always protect her. She just wants them both to make some good memories before he goes. Then she does the bravest little thing and asks for his number. Jugan takes her number, a little flustered but clearly happy. As Fuyuki heads off, she calls back that he can contact her anytime. Even the slime seems to approve of this new friend who believes in its favorite human. Later, Fuyuki sits in the car, phone glowing in her hands, learning that Jogan has already set his sights on a dungeon. She talks quietly with her mom, voice full of quiet faith, promising that everything is going to be okay. Meanwhile, our duo is already on the move. Jugan reminds the slime he is not a student anymore, so no one should come looking. The little guy is bouncing with excitement, and both of them are suddenly very aware of one important fact: they are starving. A quick check of the phone shows they still have a bit of money left. Jogan grins and decides they are eating something delicious today. The slime lights up with the happiest puru you have ever heard. They walk into a cozy little restaurant and casually ask for a table for two. The staff has no idea they are about to feed the hungriest slime in existence, plus the kind guy who saved it. Spacious seats are definitely required. By the time they finish, the place has literally run out of ingredients and has to close for the day. Jugan and his round yellow companion step back outside, completely stuffed and glowing with satisfaction. Life is good when you have your best friend and a full stomach. But reality hits fast. Food this good is expensive, and if they want to keep traveling side by side, they are going to need a steady income. Jugan's eyes sharpen with new purpose. Time to earn some real money. They head straight for the Dungeon Association, the place where adventurers take on quests and walk away with rewards. The big modern building looks impressive under the clear blue sky. Jugan half expects it to be packed, yet the lobby is strangely quiet. He walks up to the counter with the slime perched proudly beside him and politely gets the receptionist's attention. The bald clerk greets them with a professional smile and asks the question that is about to open a whole new chapter of their adventure. How may I help you? Shoichi walks straight into the guild information desk with Puru riding proudly on his shoulder, ready to take the next step in this new world. The receptionist greets him with a polite smile, but the second Shoichi mentions looking for security guard work, the man nearly falls out of his chair. Puru immediately starts yelling about dumb ideas while Shoichi tries to explain he just needs any honest work. The receptionist recovers enough to ask what kind of job he actually wants, and Shoichi calmly drops the real request. He wants to take on high-rank quests. He lays it all out. An F-rank adventurer and his slime partner want B-rank or higher requests. The receptionist stares like the world just flipped upside down. Shoichi even offers to sell himself if that is what it takes to get on the board. The man points out they only handle C rank and above here, but Shoichi is already one step ahead. He wants the volunteer and adventure department requests, pure food cost missions, anything that lets him and Puru prove themselves. Puru puffs up proudly when Shoichi introduces his oldest friend. With Puru at his side, Shoichi swears he can clear any request they throw at him. The receptionist still cannot believe an F rank and a tiny slime are serious about B rank work. Shoichi quietly admits he has no family left and got kicked out with nothing. He needs money, plain and simple. Something in that honest confession hits the receptionist hard, and the man suddenly decides to make an exception. He stamps the papers himself and turns the request into an official B-rank job just for them. The mission is simple on paper: gather high-grade mana crystals in a safe zone of a B-rank dungeon. No monster fighting required. Shoichi bows deeply, introducing himself as Takamura Shoichi and promising he will never forget this kindness. The receptionist watches the F rank and his cheerful slime leave, muttering that the combination is strangely interesting. Out in the B rank dungeon forest, Shoichi studies the safe area map while Puru bounces happily on his shoulder. These closed-off zones hide glowing dungeon flowers that light up when magic is poured into them. Perfect markers for the mana grass they need. Shoichi activates appraisal and starts scanning the trees, determined to gather the stones quickly. Everything feels peaceful until a sudden scream rips through the woods and someone comes crashing down from the canopy. A black-haired girl plummets straight toward the ground. Before Shoichi can even move, Puru rockets forward with a mighty shout and transforms mid-air into the ultimate soft landing. Supreme Cushion activates. Puru expands into a giant golden pillow and catches the falling girl like it is the easiest thing in the world. She lands with a soft bounce, completely unharmed, while Shoichi rushes over to check on her. The girl coughs out a thank you and explains she climbed the tree hunting for magic stones. Everyone in these woods is after the same high-grade mana materials, and she got a little too ambitious with the height. Shoichi gently corrects her that they are actually looking for mana grass, not regular magic stones. The girl lights up and decides to repay the rescue by sharing everything she knows about the area. She points them toward the perfect spot and even helps estimate how many stalks they need. 5 or 6 would already make the day a success. Shoichi and Puru follow her advice, hearts full of gratitude for another kind stranger. Then they round the corner and freeze. Stretching out in every direction is a sea of glowing green mana grass. Not 5 stalks, not 6, 700 of them, just waiting to be gathered. Puru's eyes sparkle like the jackpot just hit, and Shoichi realizes their very first B-rank request is about to become legendary. Out in the bright green woods, Next-san and his long-haired companion are on the hunt. They're searching for a dungeon packed with mana, and the air already feels charged with possibility. They trade theories about how much mana must be swirling around a place like this. Next-san admits he's never set foot in a real dungeon before, but the excitement is written all over his face. His companion warns that even ordinary monsters can be trouble if you walk in blind. Next-san just smiles, lifts the little yellow slime on his shoulder, and says with total confidence that as long as Purun is with them, they'll be fine. With that, the trio sets off toward the dungeon entrance. Purun bounces happily, already treating the whole adventure like a fun outing with its favorite person. They spot the dark cave mouth half hidden among the trees. Next-san confirms it's the place, though he can't shake a tiny flicker of nerves about stepping inside. Purun doesn't wait for permission. The little slime zips ahead in a golden blur, scouting the path like the world's cutest bodyguard. Ominous red scratches mark the stone near the entrance, but Next-san steadies himself. His companion asks if it's really okay for her to come along too, and he simply nods. They're going in together. Inside the damp tunnel, Purun leads the way with total confidence. Next-san marvels that he's never heard of a slime offering guidance like this, yet here they are, following their tiny, overpowered friend deeper into the dark. They round a corner and freeze. A green chink monster and several other beasts lie scattered across the floor, already finished off. Something powerful cleared the path before they even arrived. Purun keeps bouncing forward, clearly the one responsible for the empty nest. Next-san can only laugh in disbelief. His little slime is turning a dangerous dungeon into a guided tour. Suddenly the ground shakes, rocks tumble, and a massive stone golem erupts from the cavern wall with a roar that rattles their bones. This is no leftover monster. This is the real threat. The golem swings a colossal fist. Next-san and his companion scramble for cover as stone shatters around them. She shouts for him to get to safety while the monster's glowing eyes lock on. Just when it looks like the golem will crush them, a golden flash streaks past. Purun launches itself like a living cannonball, smashing into the stone giant with a brilliant explosion of light and force. When the dust settles, the golem is gone and Next-san is cradling a slightly tired but triumphant Purun. He thanks the little slime from the bottom of his heart, and Purun just nuzzles closer, happy to have protected its person once again. His companion stares in awe, realizing Next-san somehow understands monsters on a level she never expected. He just shrugs and says the real secret isn't knowledge, it's the power of the bond he shares with Purun. They share a warm moment of friendship, promising to keep growing stronger together. Then Purun suddenly perks up and darts ahead. Something amazing is waiting just beyond the next tunnel. The cavern opens into a breathtaking field of glowing green mana plants, stretching as far as the eye can see. Nexon can hardly believe it. Purun found exactly what they came for, and more. They carefully gather only what they need while peaceful animals wander among the glowing leaves. Just when everything feels perfect, the ground trembles again, and a massive, furious boar monster bursts into the clearing, eyes locked on them. Chapter 10 kicks off with pure chaos. Deep in a shadowy cave, Nitsan suddenly finds himself staring down a massive king wild boar that looks ready to tear the whole place apart. 1 second of kindness once saved a tiny slime, and now that same slime is about to turn this monster encounter into a total mismatch. The boar charges with a thunderous roar, but Purin is already moving. A blinding flash and a crushing impact rock the cave as the slime unleashes power no one saw coming. That pathetic little blob Nitsan once rescued is now the kind of force that makes mountain-sized monsters look small. The king wild boar's eyes go wide with pure shock as Purin's attack lands like a meteor. One devastating blow later and the beast is finished, crashing down in a heap of dust and defeat. Nitsan barely has time to catch his breath before the real surprise of the day appears. A young woman tumbles free from the wreckage and Purin floats protectively nearby, glowing with pride. Nitsan rushes over, heart still racing, calling out to make sure she's all right. Turns out this stranger was dragged into the dark by the boar, and our duo just became her unexpected heroes. The girl, still shaken, clings to the moment of safety while Purin bounces happily on her head. She can't believe someone actually came for her in a place this horrible. Nitsan just offers a quiet smile, the same gentle kindness that started this whole adventure in the first place. Back in the light, emotions spill over. The rescued girl thanks Nitsan with everything she has, promising she never wants to lose someone important again. Purin nuzzles close, pure joy radiating from that little yellow body, because nothing makes this slime happier than seeing its savior do good. With hearts a little lighter, the group heads straight to the Japan Tandem Association Tachikawa branch. Nitsan and Purin walk in carrying the spoils of their victory, ready to turn a terrifying fight into a very profitable day. The receptionist lights up the moment he realizes who just walked through the door. Inside, the association staff can hardly believe the haul. Mana grass, a defeated king wild boar, and materials that would normally take an entire party ages to gather. Nitsan stays humble while Purin just floats there looking adorable, completely unaware it's the reason every jaw in the room is on the floor. The bald official is stunned, a B-rank monster taken out so cleanly and enough rare goods to make the whole branch buzz with excitement. He offers top-tier payment on the spot and even hints at future contracts, all while Nitsan quietly realizes just how far one act of kindness has carried him. Purin gets called delicious food for a second, and the whole mood lightens with laughter. The association is already planning how often they want to see this duo again. Nitsan accepts the payment with a calm smile, knowing every coin is just another reminder that looking out for the weak pays off in the biggest ways. Outside, under a bright blue sky, the rescued girl makes a quiet vow. Meeting Nitsan and Purin has changed something in her, and she decides she wants to grow stronger too. Purin bounces with pure delight, already treating her like part of the family, while Nitsan simply waves goodbye with that same gentle heart. Home at last, the day winds down into pure, cozy vibes. Nitsan and Purin hit the shops, then it's straight into the kitchen where our hero cooks up a feast while the slime watches with sparkling eyes. After everything they faced, these quiet moments together feel like the real reward. Bath time turns into pure comedy gold. Nitsan sinks into the warm water with a huge sigh of relief while Purin floats nearby looking completely content. The little slime even gets its own rubber ducky moment, proving once again that the strongest being in the world just wants to chill beside the guy who saved it. Later that night, the peaceful mood shifts when Neat-san's phone suddenly rings. It's Akizuki-san calling at a strangely late hour, and something in her voice already feels off. Purin watches curiously from the side as Neat-san answers, completely unaware that this simple call is about to pull them into the next big twist. On the other end of the line, Akizuki-san sounds hesitant, almost like she's holding something back. Neat-san asks if she's doing okay, and her quiet reply of "I'm fine, but" hangs in the air like a storm cloud. Whatever is coming next, one thing is certain. Purin will be right there at Neat-san's side, ready for anything. Chapter 11 opens with Mizuha on the phone, casually mentioning he just cleared a B-rank dungeon like it was a weekend errand. The girl on the other end immediately frets about money and checks on his parents, while he keeps the whole thing light and easy. She says she is doing fine too, but Mizuha's mind drifts back to that dungeon run. To him, it felt almost ordinary, and his little slime sits nearby looking perfectly content, the living reminder that kindness turned the weakest creature into an unstoppable partner. The girl keeps pressing, still worried he is bottling things up. Mizuha insists he never needed to dump every heavy detail on her, and she gently notes that his parents might never fully understand what he has been through. Sitting with his slime, Mizuha quietly admits it really might have been tough. That tiny yellow friend stays glued to his side exactly like always, proof that one small rescue created the strongest bond in the world. She offers to move in and cover every expense so he never has to struggle alone. Mizuha almost lets the full truth slip, then stops himself, determined not to become a burden on someone who already cares so deeply. He catches the words just in time and wonders if the slime felt that same heavy moment. The little guy simply blinks up at him, pure and simple, while Mizuha questions whether he is overthinking the entire call. A cheerful puru from the slime announces it is hungry and snaps Mizuha right out of his spiral. He glances at his phone one last time, still second-guessing every word, before finally heading out. School is next. Mizuha walks into the principal's office with his slime tucked away like the world's strongest secret, already being called this year's strongest freshman after that B-rank clear. Hallway gossip is already flying about the student who finished the dungeon. Mizuha just wants a little privacy, but the principal has heard everything and calls him in by name. Inside, the principal gets straight to business. He wants Mizuha to stay as an honorary student and cancel any withdrawal. The school knows about the bullying and keeps saying he should have spoken up sooner. Mizuha has heard these lectures before. The principal keeps pushing, even bringing up the Dungeon Association and how wrong the pressure has been, while the slime stays calmly on his shoulder the entire time. Why hide that kind of power for so long as a student of this school? Mizuha simply answers that he intends to keep living life on his own terms, even as the principal begs him to reconsider coming back fully. The slime gives a soft little reassurance while the principal grows more intense. Suddenly, other teachers are summoned because Mizuha's dungeon clear is drawing serious attention, and every adult in the room wants a piece of this overpowered freshman. The teachers pile in with nervous apologies, one of them called Kasai looking especially rattled. They offer to punish the homeroom teacher who looked the other way and plead for Mizuha to become the pride of the school so he can finally have the student life he wanted. Mizuha stays quiet as the room fills with desperate adults. Then his slime shifts and the whole office freezes because that little yellow blob just reminded them of the mysterious monster encounter that changed everything. The teachers are left stunned while Mizuha politely excuses himself. Even the slime gets in a cheeky goodbye, and the duo walks out on their own terms, leaving the office in awkward silence. Outside, Mizuha runs into Akizuki-san. He admits he had been thinking about leaving for good, but she tells him she never expected him to cancel the withdrawal and isn't sure returning is truly best. Then she says she wants to spend her student life together with everyone here, and Mizuha's heart does a full flip while his slime cheerfully shouts her name at the top of its tiny lungs. Chapter 12 hits the ground running, literally. A girl tears across the school courtyard with total intensity while our ordinary guy strolls in carrying his bag, Purin tucked close as always, with no idea how heavy this day is about to get. Inside the quiet school halls, everything looks peaceful, but he catches a glimpse of something that stops him cold. Purin perches right there with him as he wonders what fresh trouble just walked into their lives. The blonde girl stands frozen in the corridor, and someone cries out for Mom. Our guy ends up sitting alone with that familiar weight on his shoulders, little Purin staying right by his side through the quiet worry. Later, he sits down with an old classmate, a polished guy in a suit. They catch up on how they once shared the same class but lost contact, and the talk quickly turns to the famous Akizu-san, chairman of the entire Akizu group. The man thanks him warmly for the present given to his son, admitting he still feels like an ordinary person next to all that power and fame. They mention the transfer and how Akizu-san has always been the kind of person who truly cares about friends like Karen. The mood shifts hard when we cut to the hospital. Someone lies still in the bed while a heavy voice says that child was almost bright once, but now everything feels broken. Our guy grips the hand and whispers that it's all his fault, full of regret. Old memories flood back. He remembers losing his own parents in an accident and freezing up when it mattered most. Yet through every heartbreak, Akizu-san stayed right beside him, the one constant light. Even the blonde girl from school pushed him to keep going, challenging him to compete for better exam scores instead of giving up. Akizu-san had always taken first place, but that rivalry became the spark that kept him moving forward. This time, he refuses to stand by. He feels deep down that she will be okay if a real crisis hits, and he wants to be the one who helps. When the moment comes, he simply says, "Leave it to him. He's got this." Back at the hospital door, the anxiety hits full force. Monitors beep steadily while he sits beside the bed, Purin resting quietly on him. The little slime can feel every bit of that worry and hates seeing its savior like this. Purin decides it will not let that anxiety win. It wants to know everything about Akizu-san and refuses to accept that nothing can be done. With a fierce little glare, the slime starts bouncing with sudden purpose. In a flash of light, a glowing blue plant appears. Our guy stares in shock. Could this actually be the answer? Purin wastes no time scampering straight toward the mysterious flower. The tiny slime examines the plant, gives it a determined nibble, and then, boom! Purin erupts into a massive, muscle-bound form, flexing with pure pride and a triumphant Purun. That pitiful little blob just became a powerhouse right when it was needed most. Can that plant really save Akizu-san's mother? Our guy already knows Purin has a way. Even if getting it seems impossible for an ordinary person, the slime is ready, and the two of them lock eyes with the same stubborn fire. Outside, they run into the blonde girl again. She tells him she's grateful he is here, yet insists it isn't time for her to go home. She believes he can overcome anything, and he quietly decides some details about plant poison are better left unsaid for now. She looks him straight in the eyes and reminds him of the words he once gave her: never give up on anything. With Purin perched proudly on his shoulder, he answers with a quiet, solid yeah. The bond that started with one small kindness is about to be tested again, and this time the strongest slime in the world is ready. Chapter 13 opens with our kind-hearted hero and his devoted little slime Purin packing for a quick overnight trip. They only need enough for one night because the real goal is finding a special flower as fast as possible. Purin bounces around full of energy, ready to stick right by his side like always. With bags ready, they hop on a bike and roll out into the dark forest path. The ride is bumpy and the night is thick, but nothing slows this pair down. Purin rides along happily while our hero pedals straight toward whatever comes next. Even though it is still pitch black and early, they refuse to waste a second. Our hero steels himself, glances at his clingy companion, and with a firm, "let's go," they push deeper into the unknown. The quiet does not last long. A massive green frog monster burst out of the trees with a thunderous roar, ready to turn any traveler into a snack. Looks like the first real obstacle of the night just showed up. Golden light explodes around our hero as Purin's power kicks in. One overwhelming blast later, and the giant frog is finished, sprawled out and completely out of the fight. Kindness really does come with the best backup. A pack of goblins decides this is their moment to jump in. Huge mistake. Glowing yellow orbs and lightning-fast strikes send the little pests flying in every direction before they even know what hit them. Purin and our hero carve a clean path straight through the remaining monsters. They are not here to linger. That flower is waiting, and this overpowered duo is not about to let a few pests slow them down. With the road clear, they realize this trail leads straight to the flower they need. Purin chirps with excitement as they hurry forward, the unbreakable bond between them shining brighter than any monster aura. Then they go full spectacular. Our hero and Purin unleash a ridiculous nuclear fusion-style attack that lights up the entire forest. Whatever was left standing gets blasted clear out of the way in the most over-the-top fashion possible. When the dust settles, our hero catches his breath and gives Purin a well-earned compliment. Even with all that power, they still forgot emergency snacks, so it is time to look around for something to eat before moving on. But the peaceful moment vanishes the second a familiar heavy feeling washes over them. Our hero freezes in place. He has sensed this presence before. It is the King Buffalo. The massive bull monster steps out of the shadows, looking even more dangerous than last time. King Buffalo recognizes them instantly and makes it clear he plans to finish what he started, promising to devour both the human and the slime. The rematch erupts at full speed. King Buffalo's strikes come so fast our hero and Purin can barely defend. The beast is gone, set on splitting them apart, convinced the human will be easy prey once the slime is gone. Things get rough fast. Heavy blows land and the King Buffalo gloats about how simple it will be once he separates them. But Purin is having none of it. This slime did not become the strongest just to let anyone tear them apart. Our hero stands tall beside his partner and makes one thing crystal clear. No matter what happens, they will never be separated. The same kindness that saved a weak little slime now fuels an unbreakable team that refuses to fall. A final, devastating blast turns the tide completely. King Buffalo is taken out and collapses hard, the fight finished. Our exhausted hero barely has time to catch his breath and admit how tired and hungry he is before a new darkness begins to gather. A towering purple skeletal horror rises from the shadows with an earth-shaking roar. Our hero and Purin can only stare in shock as this brand new nightmare looms over them. Whatever this thing is, the real danger of the night has only just begun. Chapter 14 explodes open with a bone-rattling roar. A towering skeletal beast has just ballooned into full giant mode, horns gleaming and claws ready to tear the whole place apart. Right in its path stands a blonde swordsman, eyes wide as he realizes just how gigantic this nightmare has become. One wrong move and it is game over. Nearby, ordinary guy Daniel and his devoted little slime Purin watch the chaos. Purin cheerfully announces it is bigger than before, but even that feels tiny next to this monster. The beast charges with a thunderous bellow, claws swiping so fast the air itself seems to split. Dodging becomes the only option left. The blonde fighter gathers a brilliant golden light between his palms, refusing to stay on the defensive. He is done scurrying around like prey. Arrows streak through the dark, but the monster only grows more furious. Daniel clutches Purin tight, already thinking this might be the end of the road for them. Purin squeaks that they should just run for it. The blonde swordsman, however, plants his feet and declares he will not run anymore. This fight ends here. The skeletal giant snarls that it will swallow them whole no matter what. Zero mercy, pure overwhelming power bearing down on everyone. The blonde grips his blade and vows to finish this right now. Energy erupts around him in a glowing circle as he prepares the biggest strike he has left. With Purin right beside him, he unleashes Judgment Lightning. A colossal golden bolt slams straight into the monster, lighting up the entire battlefield like a second sun. The impact is devastating. Cracks spiderweb across the ground, dark energy explodes outward, and the giant beast is left reeling from the full force of that attack. Even then, the blonde refuses to let anyone face danger alone. He slaps a powerful seal on the monster, finishing the threat for good while Purin sticks close. One exhausted sigh later, the battle is finally over. With the dust settled, Daniel's stomach growls loud enough to echo off the rocks. Campfire time. He gets a proper meal roasting while Purin stares at the sizzling meat like it is the greatest treasure in the world. Of course, Purin cannot resist a shiny red mushroom nearby and gulps it down instantly. Daniel panics, yelling that it is poison, but the little slime just looks perfectly happy. Damage taken? Basically nothing. A quick status check reveals the ridiculous truth. Purin is sitting on 300,000 HP and 700,000 MP. Kindness really did create the most overpowered companion imaginable. They settle in to rest. Daniel drifts off by the fire, but when he wakes, Purin is simply gone. He scrambles up, calling the slime's name into the empty dark. Following a strange, heavy miasma, Daniel finds himself at a solid-looking cave wall. He can still sense Purin's presence right through the rock, and the moment he touches it, the ground gives way beneath him. He tumbles into a hidden space glowing with eerie green light. Whatever is waiting down there makes Daniel freeze in pure shock. What on earth did Purin just lead him into? Chapter 15 kicks off with our guy freezing in place the second he senses something human out here in the middle of nowhere. He stares at a lonely old shrine half hidden in the mist and mutters that this is the last place he expected to find one. Whatever is waiting inside, his gut is already telling him Pururi wandered off alone again. He can feel that familiar little presence and instantly starts panicking. Our kind-hearted hero takes off running, shouting Pururi's name like a worried parent who just realized the kid slipped out the back door. Those tiny footprints on the ground only make his heart race faster. And there he is, Pururi, the once pathetic slime who is now the strongest being alive, bouncing happily with a glowing blue flower in tow. The little guy lights up the second he sees his savior, completely oblivious to how worried everyone was. One gentle act of kindness really did create the clingiest, overpowered companion in history. That flower is exactly what they need to cure Alicia Sama's mother. Our guy's relief turns straight into a lecture as he holds the bloom up and reminds Pururi how dangerous it is to go off alone. Even the strongest slime in the world still gets scolded like a kid who stayed out past curfew. But the scolding comes wrapped in pure warmth. He tells Pururi never to wander off again because from now on they'll face everything together. That simple promise of "you can rely on me too" is exactly why this slime will never leave his side. Of course the universe can't let them have a quiet moment. A stunning blonde woman with horns steps out of the shadows, none other than the demon goddess herself, and greets the little slime like an old friend. She takes one look at Pururi's happy face and teases him about how soft living with humans has made him. Pururi puffs up indignantly while she laughs, calling it a challenge to the demon goddess. She points out how strange it is that someone with his power still apologizes and frets for the sake of humans. The tension is playful, but you can feel centuries of history between them. She refuses to just hand over the precious flower at first, even daring Pururi to try taking it by force. The little slime's determined Pururi is pure comedy gold against a literal goddess. Then she suddenly drops the act with a grin and says she was only kidding. Just like that, she tells him to take the flower and hurry before she changes her mind. Pururi bounces with pure joy, completely unbothered by the goddess's earlier threats. Kindness really does open every door in this world, even divine ones. As Pururi celebrates, the demon goddess grows quieter. She warns him not to get too joyful because their paths will cross again someday, and she can't help wondering how he still believes in humans after being abandoned once before. That pure little heart of his clearly both amuses and worries her. She reminds him that humans might use him and cast him aside all over again. But Pururi just floats there glowing, talking about making someone happy, and casually drops the word friend. The goddess freezes, genuinely startled that this tiny powerhouse still sees her that way. A soft smile finally breaks across her face. She calls the whole thing interesting, tells him to hurry back to his human, and even asks him to say hi to his friend for her. Whatever complicated past they share, Pururi's simple loyalty just won another round. Moments later, our guy finally catches up, Slime happily in tow. The demon goddess locks eyes with him and delivers a line that chills the air. Their encounter is both destiny and a curse. She tells Pururi to enjoy that curse right beside his master, then vanishes with a knowing little laugh. No time to unpack any of that. Flower secured, the two of them sprint back under a burning red sky, Pururi clinging tight like always. Our guy is desperate to make it in time, repeating please under his breath with every step. They burst into the building, hearts pounding, only to freeze at the sight of a blonde woman already on the phone. The look on our guy's face says everything. He whispers that he didn't make it in time, and suddenly the victory of getting the flower feels a lot heavier. Chapter 16 drops us right into a quiet hallway, and you can already feel the weight in the air. Mizuki is walking along with his ever-loyal slime companion bouncing right beside him, completely unaware that the day is about to turn upside down. Then Yuka appears, and the look on her face says everything before she even opens her mouth. Yuka is fighting back tears as she delivers the news Mizuki never wanted to hear. His mother is in critical condition at the hospital and time is running out fast. That bright, carefree energy he usually carries just shatters in an instant. Mizuki does not waste a second. He bolts straight for the hospital with the little slime sticking close, determination burning in every step. Yuka is right there with him, and the moment they reach the room, the monitors tell a terrifying story. One look at his mother lying there and Mizuki's voice cracks as he calls out for her. The doctors are already moving, the atmosphere thick with urgency, and even the slime goes completely still beside him. This is the kind of moment that freezes your heart. His father is already at the bedside, looking completely broken, and the reunion is pure heartache. Mizuki and Yuka can barely hold it together as the reality sinks in. The doctors confirm what everyone fears. The situation is dire, and every second counts. Then the little slime does what it always does best. It produces a single glowing blue flower and offers it up like the most natural thing in the world. Mizuki's eyes light up with sudden hope because he knows exactly what this overpowered companion is capable of. He rushes the flower to the medical team, insisting it can save her, while Yuka and his father watch in stunned silence. The doctors are skeptical at first, but Mizuki is not backing down. That tiny slime's gift might be the only chance they have left. Yuka confronts him in the hallway, demanding to know what he is really planning and whether he can actually deliver on this impossible promise. Mizuki looks her straight in the eye and swears he will not let his mother slip away. The slime just floats there, quietly ready for whatever comes next. Back inside, Mizuki gently places the flower with his mother while the slime watches over them both. He begs the doctors to use it, pouring every ounce of faith into that one small bloom. Even the medical staff can sense this is no ordinary request. The lead doctor finally agrees to try, though the tension in the room is almost unbearable. Monitors keep beeping their grim warnings as the flower is prepared. Everyone holds their breath, waiting to see if kindness and a miracle slime can rewrite fate. Minutes crawl by like hours. The team checks vitals again and again while Mizuki, Yuka, and his father wait outside, hearts in their throats. Then the news hits. After the flower was administered, something incredible began to happen. His mother's condition stabilizes. The doctors can hardly believe the readings, calling it a positive turn no one saw coming. Mizuki nearly collapses with relief, thanking everyone through tears while the little slime glows with quiet pride. The emotional dam finally breaks. Mizuki's father pulls him into a crushing hug, both of them overwhelmed that they still have more time together. Yuka stands nearby, smiling through her own tears, and even the slime gets a well-deserved moment of pure joy. When they are finally allowed back in, the sight of his mother resting peacefully is everything Mizuki needed. The whole family gathers close, the nightmare fading into something warm and hopeful. That single act of kindness from so long ago just paid off in the most beautiful way possible. The doctors are still shaking their heads in amazement, calling the recovery nothing short of a miracle. Mizuki knows exactly who to thank, glancing down at the little yellow companion that refuses to leave his side. In this world, saving the weakest slime turned out to be the strongest choice he ever made. As the family shares one more quiet, grateful moment together, Mizuki and his slime slip back into the hallway. The crisis has passed, but you can feel the story shifting again. Whatever comes next, that unbreakable bond is only going to grow stronger, and the adventure is far from over. Chapter 17 kicks off with our ordinary guy Usuguchi pedaling down a sunny path, Pururu perched happily on his shoulder like the world's clingiest good luck charm. He keeps replaying the wild events in his head, admitting he still doesn't fully get how he ended up in the middle of all this. Yet every time he glances at that little yellow slime, a quiet smile slips out anyway. Pururu bounces along while Usuguchi mutters that he keeps thinking of cooler things he could have said earlier. The confusion is real, but so is the warmth blooming in his chest. Kindness already paid off once, and now the strongest little companion in existence refuses to leave his side for even a second. His phone lights up, and suddenly Akino-san is on the line, voice bright with relief. Her mom's condition is finally turning around for the better, and she wants to thank Usuguchi face to face for everything he did. The guy who just wanted to help is about to get hit with a wave of pure gratitude. They meet up, and Akino can barely hold back how happy she is. She admits she wanted to talk more at the hospital, and Usuguchi, ever the humble softy, just stands there a little flustered. Pururu peeks out like it's supervising the whole wholesome reunion. Akino bows deeply, thanking him from the bottom of her heart, while Usuguchi quietly says he's the one who should be grateful. The simple exchange is pure feel-good energy. Even Pururu seems to glow a little brighter just being near all that kindness. Later, Akino learns he already headed home, and she sighs, wishing she could have thanked him properly in person. Still, she knows they'll cross paths again soon. Meanwhile, Usuguchi is back on his bike with Pururu, deciding they should properly celebrate the happy news with a good meal. The peaceful ride turns into pure comedy when Pururu suddenly launches itself forward with a cheerful cry. Usuguchi nearly wipes out, yelling that he has way too many things left to do today. That overpowered slime really does keep life interesting. Next stop is the apartment building where the rent is late again. Usuguchi shows up with an apology and a bag of sweets, hoping the peace offering works. The landlady greets him with a warm, "Oh my, Tashi-kun," and happily accepts the treats, though she gently reminds him to give a heads up next time. Usuguchi freezes for a second at the mild scolding, Pururu tilting its head in perfect sync. Crisis averted, he heads out again and soon finds himself at a cheerful little place called Cafe Smile. Good news keeps rolling in for the people around him. Inside the cafe, warm conversation fills the air. Someone close to Akino is celebrating a brand new job, and the whole table lights up with genuine joy. Usuguchi sits with Pururu, quietly glad that the people he helped are finally catching a break. Back with Akino and her mom, the real heart of the chapter unfolds. Mom is glowing with gratitude, calling Usuguchi a good child and a lifesaver. She tells her daughter how rare it is to meet someone with such a pure heart, the kind of person who visits the hospital and simply stays kind. Akino starts reminiscing about the day they first became classmates. Usuguchi was the late transfer student who never cleaned his desk and somehow still became her first real friend. Just thinking about him makes her smile without even trying. She remembers the hospital days, how he showed up when everything felt dark and treated her like a kindred spirit. Because he acted for her sake, she learned she could trust him completely. That quiet reliability is exactly why her mom feels so thankful. Mom laughs that Usuguchi has unexpected sides too, sometimes making her worry, yet he always turns out reliable. People who can make you laugh, she says, are the absolute best. Even Dad ends up smiling whenever the stories about that boy come up. Akino can't believe the same high-headed, unfriendly-looking guy could be so gentle with her mom. It was funny and wonderful all at once. She realizes Usuguchi-kun is simply that kind of person, the one who keeps surprising everyone with quiet goodness. Even when he's not around, just thinking about Usuguchi fills Akino with happiness. She sits by the hospital window peeling an apple, a soft smile on her face while flowers bloom outside. The bond that started with one small act of kindness keeps growing stronger every single day. And somewhere out there, Usuguchi and his ridiculously powerful slime are still rolling through their day, completely unaware how deeply they've already changed these lives. Whatever comes next, one thing is certain: Pururu will be right by his side, and the good they've started is only getting bigger. Karin can't stop thinking about how much her home has changed. One ordinary day, her mom is suddenly full of life again, calling out for her and chatting about Yoshi-kun and her best friends like the weight of the world just lifted. Papa is right there in the middle of it too, and Karen is stunned. She never knew he had this warm side. The house feels lighter, almost like the family she always wished for finally showed up. She walks in on the two of them being ridiculously sweet, and all she can do is blush and mumble that it is really not like that. Papa even calls for her like nothing is strange at all. Mom just laughs it off and tells everyone to eat. Karin ducks out to grab water, still processing the fact that her parents are suddenly this close again. Later, she corners Okakura about it. Mom specifically told her to bring him something and add him to her contacts. Papa felt the exact same way back then, and neither of them can quite explain why everything flipped so fast. Karen admits her mother said from the beginning they should stay together. She does not even want to dig into the reasons. She just knows Okakura is somehow at the center of her family's second chance. That night, she calls him directly. Mom's first results were good, but Karin wanted to say it herself. She has something important she needs to talk about face to face. The next day, they meet in the park under perfect blue skies. Karin spots Akizuki-san and greets Shikura-kun, then lights up the second she sees Mazaki-kun's bright little smile peeking out. She teases that Mazaki looks extra cute today, then realizes the little guy is still napping in her bag. They decide to sit for a bit and just enjoy the weather. Karin softens as she watches Okakura. She thinks about how everyone who recovered after meeting him seems to carry the same quiet happiness. Mazaki is living proof of that kindness. Okakura pulls out his phone for a quick photo. Mazaki pops up with cheerful puru-puru sounds, striking the cutest pose imaginable while Karin laughs beside them. The shot comes out perfect, especially Mazaki. Karin declares that level of cuteness is completely unfair, then immediately decides they all need to play together right now. They spend the afternoon just being kids in the park. Later, walking through the city, Karin brings up something Okakura once said. She admits she often thinks about him because he has helped her with so many things. Mazaki peeks out curiously while Karin tries to put her feelings into words. She is not worried about money or status. After everything, this warm feeling is what matters most. Suddenly, the peaceful moment shatters. Heavy footsteps and shouting fill the air as a group of serious-looking men drop in out of nowhere. Karin freezes. What is going on? A familiar face steps forward. Takamura-san himself, arriving by helicopter no less. He greets Okakura like an old friend and says he rushed here the moment the association got the report. Takamura does not waste a second. He looks Okakara straight in the eye and makes it official. For what he accomplished in that S-rank dungeon, Okakara Yuki is hereby appointed an S-rank ranker of the Dungeon Association. The Dungeon Association has finally taken notice. After everything Otsuka and his little slime companion have pulled off, the higher-ups decide it is time to make things official and appoint him as a ranger. Not everyone is convinced. Whispers fly about whether this quiet guy really conquered an S-rank dungeon and handled a red dragon. The bald official and his partner size him up, still half doubting the rumors. They lay it out straight. Otsuka is invited to take the A-rank ranger test right now. S-rank monsters are considered equal to A-rank rangers, so clearing this will settle every doubt once and for all. The officials make it clear they are being thorough. If Otsuka really has what it takes, he will breeze through. The slime sits proudly on his head like it already knows the answer. His blonde companion looks worried. She remembers how dangerous these tests can get and asks if this is really safe. Otsuka just meets her eyes and quietly asks her to believe in him and in the slime's power. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to prove he belongs. Otsuka softens and promises they will finish their conversation when he gets back. Then he turns to the officials and accepts the test without hesitation. A helicopter lifts off into the night sky, carrying Otsuka, the slime, and the association team toward the test site. His companion watches them go and calls out for him to do his best. Inside the chopper, the rules are simple and brutal. Survive, follow the map route, and reach the final point within 24 hours. Fail to finish or finish looking too unscathed, and the promotion is off the table. They are heading back into an undersea dungeon. As the helicopter approaches the drop zone, Otsuka stares out the open door, already bracing himself. The officials warn him the monsters will wake soon. Otsuka does not wait for a gentle landing, he simply jumps. The officials shout in shock as he plummets into the dark, the slime clinging tight, golden wings flaring to life around him. He spots a massive minotaur-type monster waiting below and does not slow down. One clean flame strike later and the entire pack is finished in a single overwhelming blast that lights up the night. Back in the helicopter, the officials can barely believe their eyes. Unbelievable power. Dozens of A-class monsters taken out with one attack. Stats like these put him far beyond ordinary S-rank stories. Otsuka and the slime keep moving, carving a glowing path straight through the remaining threats. A compressed spiral of pure force erupts from him, clearing everything between him and the goal in spectacular fashion. He lands right in front of the waiting officials, looking completely unfazed. The test is already cleared. They can only stare in stunned silence as the reality of his strength sinks in. But clearing the test is only the beginning. The real Ranger promotion mission is waiting. Hunt the Crab Lord inside an undersea dungeon classified as full S-rank. Only true S-rank Rangers ever attempt it. Otsuka asks the obvious question. Why is this mission so special? The answer is simple and terrifying. The undersea dungeon sits at the deepest part of the sea, and whatever waits down there is no ordinary opponent. Our ordinary hero and his ridiculously devoted slime companion Purin are finally on the move, riding high above the waves toward their next destination. The woman briefing them makes it clear this is no casual trip. They are heading straight into an S-rank nation, and the entrance is going to be anything but gentle. But our guy is not worried for a second. He has Purin right there with him, and that little yellow ball of pure loyalty is already buzzing with excitement. One soft smile from the slime and the whole mission suddenly feels a lot less terrifying. The pilot gives the signal and it is time to drop. No fancy docks, no friendly welcome party, just a straight leap out of the sky toward the open ocean below. Purin is ready before anyone even finishes the countdown. They hit the water hard, but Purin is already on the job. In a flash, the slime wraps them both in a glowing Purin bubble, a special shell that lets them breathe and move freely even deep under the surface. Instant underwater freedom, courtesy of the strongest little friend in the world. Down they sink into the dark blue, the seafloor stretching out like an alien world. Ancient stone structures start to appear through the gloom, and our hero cannot help wondering what kind of place they have just dropped into. It is pitch black down here, so Purin fires up another absurd skill: nuclear fusion. The slime compresses its own body to the atomic level and lights up the entire seafloor like a living sun. Suddenly, every ruined pillar and stone path is crystal clear. With the path lit, they start exploring the underwater ruins. Everything feels strangely quiet, almost too quiet, and our hero cannot shake the feeling that something big is waiting just out of sight. That feeling turns out to be spot on. A massive shadow erupts from the dark water, jaws wide open and ready to swallow them whole. Our hero barely has time to shout before the monster is right on top of them. Purin does not even flinch. The slime stretches out into a blazing golden form and unleashes a spinning beam of pure power that tears straight through the attacker. One clean hit and the threat is finished, leaving nothing but swirling water behind. Our hero just laughs and gives the usual thanks. Purin puffs up with pure pride, already ready for whatever comes next. They keep moving along the stone path deeper into the ruins. More creatures try their luck. Spiky crab-like monsters scuttle out of the shadows, but Purin answers with a barrage of golden beams that send them flying. Nothing stands a chance when the slime decides it is playtime. They push through an old stone gate and into a darker chamber. Purin asks if he is ready, and of course he is. The two of them drop down into the next level together, hearts racing with that familiar mix of nerves and excitement. Waiting below is a huge red beast with glowing eyes and claws that could crush stone. It lunges hard, but the real surprise comes when Purin suddenly starts eyeing the water nearby like it has a better idea. Turns out the slime wants to take the fight into the water. Our hero barely has time to question it before they are diving in again. The moment they hit the surface, two absolute nightmares rise up to greet them: a charging marlin and a full A-rank giant octopus. A-rank monsters would send most adventurers running for the hills. Our guy just tells Purin to be careful, and the slime answers with a cheerful battle cry. Golden energy erupts in every direction as Purin goes to work. In seconds, the water is calm again. Both monsters are finished, floating harmlessly on the surface. Our hero stares in pure amazement, then starts laughing because of course Purin made it look easy. And then comes the classic Purin moment. While everyone else would be celebrating the win, the slime is already eyeing the defeated monsters and wondering out loud if they look tasty enough to eat. Our hero can only smile as the two of them stand there on the edge of whatever deeper secret this place is hiding. Chapter 21 kicks off with pure chaos. Our ordinary guy, Oscura, is already in the grip of a massive red sea beast, its coils tightening while he can barely catch his breath. The monster's glowing eyes lock on, and Oscura's face says everything. This time might really be game over. Even little Purin is trembling in pure panic. But Oscura forces a shaky smile and tells Purin he's fine, not to worry. That gentle reassurance is all the devoted slime needs to snap into action. The beast lashes out with a brutal strike, but Purin's eyes go wide. Fear of the end activates, and that once pathetic little slime turns fierce yellow with pure protective rage. Purple energy erupts as Purin counters hard, flinging Oscura free while the monster reels. Our hero hits the ground running and shouts the perfect cue. Now's their chance, let's finish it. Purin answers with a bright Puron and triggers mutual transformation. Body turns to water, a dual strike that hits inside and out at the same time, and the overpowered slime becomes a living blue droplet of pure destruction. High-speed water dashes and a massive swirling blue energy blast light up the battlefield. The red beast never stood a chance against the slime that refuses to let its savior get hurt. One final explosive impact and it's over. Oscura surfaces from the water, still catching his breath, and checks on his clingy companion. Purun, do we beat it? Tiny Purin bobs happily in confirmation. Then Oscura spots the real prize, a giant king crab that looks ridiculously tasty. Amazing, let's take this home. Purin goes full adorable battle mode, and in no time the crab is dealt with. Oscura stares at the empty spot in disbelief, not a single scrap left. He just beams and thanks his best friend from the bottom of his heart. With the king crab secured and Purin proudly carrying the catch, the pair head back. Unseen above, a helicopter full of association bigwigs has been watching the entire show. The observers can barely believe it. This guy raised his level in record time and casually hauled in a king crab. One of them mutters that a real S rank has just appeared. Oscura waves up for the rope, completely unaware of the storm he just caused. The association chief greets him with a proud, "Well done, Oscura. Now you're a real S ranker." Oscura lights up like a kid on Christmas and immediately turns to share the news with Purin. The slime is already half asleep from all the power it burned, looking extra soft and hungry. He gently pats his exhausted buddy and promises a huge feast later. Then he throws both arms up and declares today's official plan, an S-ranker celebration party. Even the hardened association members watching from the chopper can't help smiling. For someone who just became an S rank, Oscura is ridiculously carefree, and that pure heart is exactly why Purin will never leave his side. Chapter 22 opens with a helicopter slicing across the blue sky and touching down on a high-rise rooftop. Osukura Taishi steps out to the biggest news of his new life. He has just been appointed an S-ranker. The ordinary guy who once saved a pathetic little slime is suddenly standing at the top. Right there under the open sky, his superior makes it official. Taishi is now the S-ranker of the Dark Dragon Takahama branch, and they even prepared something a little special for the moment. Purin floats at his side, looking ready to celebrate. A whole lineup of suited agents bows and welcomes him. "Please take care of us from now on," they say with genuine respect. For someone who spent his whole life being overlooked, the moment hits like a warm wave. Congratulations rain down from every direction while Purin bounces happily on his shoulder. Taishi can barely keep up with the smiles and handshakes. This is the first time so many people have ever looked up to him instead of down. He admits he is still inexperienced, yet he straightens his back and promises to take full responsibility. With Purin sparking encouragement beside him, Taishi swears he will give everything on the missions ahead. The kindness that started all this is finally paying off in the brightest way. Talk turns to the previous S-ranker Jin and how Taishi's future missions will draw serious attention. The official announcement may wait, but everyone already knows he is stepping onto the same stage as the legends. Standing equal to that man is no small thing. Yet doubt creeps in. Taishi quietly admits he barely scraped into S rank and cannot really call the power his own. Every bit of strength comes from the sticky little companion who chose him that day. He explains that people only wanted a contract with a super powerful monster like Purin. The slime simply chose the one person who was ever kind to it. His superior just smiles and tells him to believe in his own power anyway. Purin puffs up proudly at being called sticky and powerful. With the heavy talk finished, the bald superior suddenly grins and says there is a place he wants to take them. Celebration time is calling. They arrive at a quiet, traditional building that turns out to be the famous high-class restaurant Tatsumi. Taishi stares in disbelief that an S-ranker gets to eat lunch at places like this. The moment they step inside, the head chef himself rushes out looking starstruck. Chef Tatsumi is truly honored to meet his benefactors and ushers them in with warm smiles. A ridiculous feast appears on the low table, dishes sparkling under the light. Purin immediately declares it a party and dives in with pure joy. The chef insists they eat to their heart's content while Purin happily stuffs itself. Conversation turns gentle as Tatsumi explains that not just anyone gets a reservation here. He cooked today because these two are truly important people. Between bites, the chef shares a quiet truth. Fancy food and status mean nothing compared to the people who once showed you kindness. Someone did that for him long ago, and now he simply wants to return the feeling. He looks at Taishi and Purin with real warmth and says the most important thing in a long life is never forgetting the ones who mattered. Hold on to those feelings, he advises, or you will only regret it later. The wholesome advice settles over the table like a soft blanket. Just then, a blonde girl in casual clothes suddenly appears in the doorway, looking a little flustered. Taishi blinks as if remembering an important promise at the worst possible moment. Purin perks up, ready for whatever comes next. After thanking the chef from the bottom of their hearts, Taishi and Purin step back out into the city. He quietly promises to keep the old man's words in mind no matter what, but the way he takes off running suggests the next surprise is already racing toward them. After everything our kind-hearted hero has been through, Akira is standing in an ordinary room with his devoted little slime right on his shoulder. A phone buzzes with an unknown number, and just like that, the quiet morning turns into a decision point. Should he really step back into school after everything? Akira answers, and the voice on the other end is pure school business. The principal's office wants him to re-enroll, and they're ready to accept any conditions he sets. Our guy just stands there with the slime, weighing whether the ordinary world still has a place for him. He never prepared to accept every condition they offered, yet something in him has shifted. With the slime quietly perched on his shoulder, he makes the call. He's going back. One gentle soul and his overpowered companion are about to walk the halls again. Bright blue sky, familiar school gates, and Akira stepping onto campus like he owns the calm. Students in the hallway freeze the second they spot him. Whispers start flying. That's Akira-san, the guy who vanished and somehow came back looking completely different. The slime peeks out from his shoulder while classmates point and stare. Even the soccer club crowd can't look away. Akira just keeps walking, calm as ever, like the strongest being in the world riding shotgun is the most normal thing imaginable. Up on the rooftop, the old crew is waiting. Blonde-haired Tashi and his friends spot Akira and the air instantly changes. One look at those sharper eyes and everyone knows this is not the same quiet kid they used to push around. Tashi can barely speak. He dropped out, lost everything, and came crawling back because the skill Akira sealed left him feeling completely worthless. He begs for it to be restored, voice cracking under that big open sky. Akira's answer is simple and firm, no. He carefully took those powers away for a reason, and he is not handing them back so the same cycle can start over. The slime stays perfectly still on his shoulder, watching every move. If Tashi is the weakest person again, then he should train instead of sleeping through life. Akira calls out the old bullying straight to their faces. Meeting these guys actually changed his mind about staying away from school forever. He never planned on attending again, yet here he is. Thanks to them, he feels like showing up properly. From this day forward, they had better behave themselves, or the payback will be 10,000 times worse than anything they remember. The warning lands like a hammer. Akira turns to leave with the slime still riding along, calm and in control. The old bullies exchange looks, pride and panic mixing in equal measure. Pride wins for half a second. One of them lunges, desperate not to be left behind, shouting that he never wanted any of this. The rooftop erupts into chaos as the group tries to jump Akira all at once. Big mistake, the slime finally moves. Dark energy crackles around Akira's outstretched hand and the entire group freezes mid-charge, crushed under a wave of pure, overwhelming terror they have never felt before. Purple force slams them flat, eyes go wide, bodies lock up, and every ounce of bravado evaporates in an instant. The slime's power is only flexing a fraction of what it can really do, and that is already more than enough. Akira looks down at the trembling group without raising his voice. That tiny taste of fear is nothing compared to what every person they ever bullied had to live with. He tells them straight, reflect on yourselves properly. With the lesson delivered, Akira and his ridiculously powerful slime simply turn and walk away under the open sky. The bullies are left on the rooftop, shaken to their core, while the bond between one kind guy and the strongest companion in the world only grows tighter. Whatever comes next at this school, nobody is going to forget who stands beside him. Chapter 24 drops us straight into a cracked red wasteland under a pitch-black sky. A lone figure keeps walking while a desperate voice calls after them, begging them not to go. The air is thick with something ancient and wrong. The voice turns furious, demanding to know if they want to get finished off for real. Still no answer. Then the ground shakes and a terrifying transformation rips through the darkness. A blonde guy staggers back in pure shock as a monstrous eye locks onto him. Whatever just woke up is not playing around, and the sheer pressure of it is enough to steal his breath. We cut to a quiet school rooftop at sunset. Shota and his friend are still reeling from the night everything changed. 1 second they were talking, the next a weird monster showed up and the whole world tilted. Shota's friend mutters that the stranger became his friend in an instant. The little yellow slime on Shota's shoulder puffs up, insisting it only got this strong because of that night. Even the slime knows something big is brewing. They agree it all started after that rooftop encounter. Shota's friend wants to leave the mysterious guy alone, but Shota just sits there quietly determined. He needs to figure out who he really is first. Meanwhile, the principal is all smiles, congratulating a student on graduation and offering an open door for any future plans. It feels like the calm before something much bigger. Shota steps out of the office with his ever-loyal slime right beside him. He tells a waiting friend not to worry, the meeting is done, and they can finally head home together. That little yellow blob never leaves his side for a second. A classmate spots him in the hallway and lights up. She asks what business he had with the principal and teases that he's been hanging around a certain someone an awful lot. Shota just waves it off with a calm smile. The teasing only gets worse when another girl jumps in asking if the two of them are already dating. Shota looks ready to vanish into the floor while his slime just floats there looking completely unbothered. School life never lets him catch a break. Out of nowhere, a determined girl marches up and demands a match. She can feel the abnormal power rolling off Shota, and she is not about to let him walk away without testing it. Shota can only stare in pure confusion. She admits she's been watching him from afar and finally worked up the courage to talk. Before she tells anyone else how she feels, she wants him to know first. Then she grins and challenges him to prove who's stronger right there in the classroom. Far from the school, the massive Akizuki Group headquarters looms against the stormy sky. Inside the boardroom, the atmosphere is ice cold as the chairman listens to grim reports about delays and a recent accident. The cause of the accident is clear: dimensional creatures. Contracts are still hanging by a thread and the entire project is slipping. The chairman's face darkens as he realizes just how bad the damage is. He takes full responsibility, voice low and furious. One single man has made him screw up everything. He's been chasing that man so hard the whole company is starting to collapse around him. Back with Shota, he stands holding a small flower, slime perched happily on his shoulder, and quietly offers help. Someone warns him that even coming near is a curse, but Shota's expression stays gentle and steady. Then Shota looks up with quiet fire in his eyes and makes a promise that changes everything. From now on, he's done watching. He'll handle it all with his own power, and that ridiculously devoted slime is never leaving his side. Whatever storm is coming for the Akizuki Group, they have no idea who they're about to face. Things feel different at the hospital today. The whole atmosphere is brighter, and even Chairman Maguro looks like a new man after everything that went down. One small act of kindness keeps rippling outward in the best ways. Word comes in that Anne is finally out of danger and heading straight for the hospital. Our guy is already thinking about the next warm gesture he can offer. Kindness is basically his superpower at this point. He wants to treat someone special to a home-cooked meal soon. Nothing fancy, just pure gratitude. The slime on his shoulder is already vibrating with secondhand excitement. These two really are stuck together for life. Cut to school, and Mizuki is just trying to have a normal day with Furui perched proudly on his head. The little slime refuses to give him even an inch of personal space, and honestly, Mizuki would not have it any other way. Friends are already hyping him up about competing with pure strength, and Furui is ready to back him up 100%. Mizuki just smiles that gentle smile of his. He still has no idea how overpowered his clingy companion really is. His heart is racing for some reason, but he swears nothing is wrong. The whole group can see right through him though. Even Furui is giving him that knowing little look. Then the teasing starts. That stretch earlier was apparently way too embarrassing, and nobody is letting him live it down. Mizuki just wants the ground to swallow him whole while Furui cheers him on from the sidelines. Things get even more awkward when Karen gets a little too close. Mizuki freezes up completely, and the poor guy can barely get the words out. Furui is living for every second of this wholesome chaos. He claims he is just waiting for Karen-chan and definitely not running away. The soccer club guys are not buying it for a second. Our kind-hearted hero is completely out of his depth with all this attention. Later, the group heads outside under the trees, still talking about how they all ended up enrolled in this wild situation. Nobody had a real choice, but somehow it feels right. Furui bounces along like this is the best day ever. They keep running into each other so often it is getting ridiculous. Even Drukira-kun has apparently become stunning lately, and the whole group is noticing the changes. Something big is shifting around Mizuki and his slime. On the walk home, the conversation turns soft and honest. Mizuki is already starting to understand things he never expected. Furui just rides along on his shoulder, the picture of pure, devoted joy. Someone almost faints from the emotional whiplash of it all. Mizuki tries to invite people to dinner like a normal person, but the conversation keeps slipping sideways. Furui is zero help and 100% entertainment. He really wants to treat Mizuki to a proper meal, but the timing never quite lines up. Just when things settle, a familiar voice cuts through the air. Someone has finally found him. A beautiful blonde girl in a flowing white dress comes flying in and wraps Mizuki in the biggest hug. She has been looking everywhere for him. Furui immediately goes on high alert at this sudden new competition for affection. She is thrilled to finally meet him, but everyone else is completely lost. Who exactly is this person, and why does she know Mizuki so well? The confusion is thick enough to cut with a sword. A sleek black car pulls up and the real explanation starts rolling in. She came to pick someone up and found them hanging out with Mizuki instead. This whole meeting just got a lot more complicated. She greets the little slime with a sweet hello, completely unaware of what she is dealing with. Furui's eyes go sharp. In one thunderous declaration, the tiny yellow blob announces exactly who it is, the Dungeon King itself. And that is where the chapter leaves us hanging. 6 years ago, deep in a dark cavern, the Queen of the Abyss spots something no one else would bother with. A tiny, glowing orange slime sits alone in the dirt, looking about as threatening as a dropped marble. She leans in close, red eyes curious, and the little slime just stares back with that same soft glow. One quiet moment later, she realizes exactly what she is looking at. The Queen of the Abyss stands tall in her full glory, horns and all, while the slime floats there looking tiny and stubborn. She murmurs that this was the day everything changed. The slime suddenly flares with pure rage, shouting "You!" like it has been waiting years for this reunion. The Queen just smiles, recognizing the little troublemaker she once knew. She settles down right there in the ruins and greets it like an old friend. The slime puffs up, still mad, until she casually throws a punch that sends it bouncing, only to catch it again with a soft, "I'll save you." Light explodes around them as she pours power into the little slime. The entire dungeon starts to shake and collapse, but the slime only looks happier than ever, glowing like a tiny sun. Back in the present, the dungeon really is coming down. Our guy is being carried on the blonde woman's back while she huffs that she is completely worn out, and the slime just floats along like nothing is wrong. Safe outside at last, she casually drops the bombshell that he is the little slime she rescued all those years ago. Our guy's face goes bright red and his chest feels weird in the best possible way. He starts overthinking what family even means while she teases him with a bright smile. The slime, of course, is thrilled and immediately claims her as family too. She suggests they have an important talk, but our poor guy can barely focus because she is ridiculously pretty. He keeps stealing glances while the slime just vibes beside them. Suddenly, she calls out for someone to stop hiding. A purple-haired girl peeks out from behind a tree, looking equal parts embarrassed and amazed that these two are real. Her name is Fina, and it turns out she and the slime go way back as the best of friends. The reunion is pure warmth, with the slime bouncing happily and everyone smiling. Fina is shy about explaining herself, so the blonde gently pushes her to just transform already. After a little hesitation and a lot of sparkling magic, Fina's body lights up with purple energy. In a swirl of light and wind, she becomes a massive, majestic purple dragon, wings spread wide. Our guy and the slime can only stare in pure shock at the sudden sky-high friend. The blonde just grins and tells everyone to climb on like this is the most normal thing in the world. With a former abyss queen, an overpowered slime, and now a dragon best friend, their next adventure is about to take off in the most literal way possible. Chapter 27 kicks off with pure chaos. Taish and little Purin are still reeling from how ridiculously fast those dragons turn out to be, and the slime is not thrilled about the near miss. Taish decides next time he is absolutely letting Purin handle the heavy lifting with those new skills. One quick rest later, and the pair finally reach their destination, greeted by a radiant blonde beauty with horns and a knowing smile. They stand before a grand, glowing structure that looks straight out of a legend. Taish can barely believe the place Purin somehow guided them to, and the slime is just happy to be right there on his shoulder. Inside, Taish holds up a delicate blue flower said to cure every disease imaginable. He realizes the non-human must have gifted it, and Purin proudly claims the moment with a cheerful bounce. A purple-haired girl with horns steps in and politely asks them to follow. She leads the group through towering doors into a vast hall, urging everyone to keep what happens next an absolute secret. Green light flares as she works a powerful spell. The air shimmers, the floor glows, and suddenly the whole party is standing inside an even grander chamber that feels older than time itself. Taish can only stare in awe at the massive fantasy hall packed with glowing paintings and a long red carpet. The blonde beauty explains that every image on these walls tells the story of another world and the true origin of the dungeons. Long ago, a mysterious phantom door connected two worlds. People in that other world believed the perfect utopia waited on the far side, free from every hardship, and they raced one another to claim it first. But the utopia was a lie. A fallen angel, beautiful and terrifying, had spun the whole tale just to lure humanity through the door and bring ruin to everything. The real world on the other side was never paradise at all. The angels discovered the scheme and acted fast. They raised entire dungeons in the space between the worlds, severing the connection forever and stationing their strongest guardians and fiercest monsters to keep the door sealed. That is how the dungeon world was born, and the fallen angel's plan crumbled. The purple-haired girl adds that the final dungeon was sealed like a coffin between the realms, and Taishi's brain is already overflowing with the history lesson. Then the blonde drops the real bombshell. That same fallen angel has been quietly interfering with Taish and Purin for a very long time, twisting their surroundings and the people around them to make every step harder. Important faces flash through Taish's mind as she speaks, yet through every trial and every bit of turmoil, he never gave up. He kept pushing forward, growing stronger little by little, with Purin right beside him the whole way. The blonde turns her warm gaze on the little slime. Purin, once the weakest creature anyone had ever seen, is now the single strongest monster in the entire dungeon, and that changes everything. Because of the unbreakable contract between them, Taish has just become the first human in history to conquer a dungeon. The room goes gone silent for half a second before pure shock explodes across every face. What was once thought completely impossible for any human has already been achieved. The blonde and the purple-haired girl exchange looks, and Taish stands there with quiet confidence, knowing kindness really did rewrite the rules of this world. But the fallen angel is still out there, and this victory has only made them a bigger target. Whatever comes next, Purin is not leaving Taish's side for even a second, and the real storm is just beginning. A few hours earlier, Karen sits quietly in the back of a car, replaying the moment she just witnessed. She cannot stop thinking about how beautiful that mysterious woman was, and what kind of connection she might have with Shinra-san. Something about the whole encounter has left her shaken. Her driver notices she looks unwell and checks on her, but Karen insists she is fine. As the car rolls away into the evening light, a lone bat cuts across the sky. Someone out there is already promising themselves they will apologize the next time they meet her. Back in the present, Non-sama and her purple-haired companion stand before Tashi with serious faces. They tell him straight out that he is going to the other world. Tashi freezes, the little yellow slime Puran perched on his shoulder, and blurts out that he will have to face that fallen angel. Non-sama confirms it calmly. If that is his fate, then yes, the laws of the world will guide everything from here. Tashi stands there with Puran, staring up at the two powerful women who have just rewritten his evening plans. Puran nuzzles against Tashi's cheek, soft and warm. Non-sama reminds him he is still just a high school student, so of course it is natural to feel scared. The little slime keeps close, as if trying to lend him every bit of courage it has. Tashi steadies himself. He has faith, and more importantly, he made a promise. He will definitely protect Purin no matter what. Looking straight at Non-sama, he says he wants to go to the other world. The purple-haired girl panics and begs them not to send him. Non-sama simply smiles and points out that if it comes down to Tashi and the little guy, they will surely be fine. Still flustered, the girl calls out to Tashi-kun. Then she suddenly switches tactics. There is actually something wonderful about going to the other world. If Tashi gets stronger over there, he will finally be able to understand what the little guy is saying. Tashi's eyes go wide. Right now, the level gap between him and Purin is so huge that understanding monster speech is nearly impossible. But if that gap shrinks, he should be able to hear the words of any monster he has contracted, and Purin is a monster from the other world. Being able to talk with Purin, that sounds amazing. Tashi's whole face lights up at the thought. Non-sama decides there is no point waiting. Now that he has made up his mind, they are sending him right away. The purple-haired girl shyly asks Tashi to hold her hand. He takes it, a little awkward but determined. Magic begins to swirl around them as Non-sama raises her voice and calls upon the goddess for a blessing. Guide him onto the path of destiny. Light explodes around Tashi and Purin. In a rush of power, he is pulled through the veil between worlds, eyes wide, the little slime clinging tight as everything blurs into starlight and sky. When the light fades, Tashi is back in the familiar modern world. A lot really happened after that. He checks his status and finds he is still only level 5, yet brand new abilities glow on the screen, including the power to open a gate between worlds whenever he needs it. Non-sama's words echo in his mind. When his wall reaches him, he can use the spell. Tashi looks at his modest level and quietly vows that he still has his own status, his own path. If he can become far stronger than he is now, everything will change. Purin bounces happily beside him with a cheerful Purin. Tashi smiles and swears he absolutely has to get stronger. Even the simple beep of the rice cooker feels grounding after everything he has just lived through. Later that night, Tashi sits with Purin and marvels that the other world still feels like a dream. The little slime answers with an enthusiastic Puru. Taking care of their health matters, so he decides it is time to wind down. After a warm bath and a thorough towel dry for the happiest slime alive, the two of them settle into bed. Soft light wraps around them as Tashi whispers goodnight to Purun and wishes them both sweet dreams, but with a brand new gate ability and a promise to grow strong enough to finally understand his devoted companion, tomorrow is going to change everything. Chapter 29 drops us straight into darkness. Shikura finds himself lost in some shadowy otherworld path with little Pot Pot bouncing beside him, both of them wondering where on earth they even are. Pot Pot lets out a tiny, worried Puri, and Shikura glances up just in time for pure chaos to explode. A massive beast comes roaring straight at them out of the gloom. The little slime throws itself forward with a determined Puri, taking the hit hard. Shikura can only watch in horror as Pot Pot gets slammed into the ground. Panic floods Shikura's face. He reaches out desperately as Pot Pot starts to glow and crack under the pressure, crying out for it not to dare leave him. The slime's form shatters in a burst of light and rising bubbles. Something deep is changing, and then everything fades to black. Shikura jolts awake in his own bed, clutching the very much alive and snuggly Pot Pot. He whispers that he will wait for it today, still shaken by that awful dream. Meanwhile, across town, bright and early, Mizuki is heading out the door with a spring in her step. Her mom teases her about flight schedules and flexible dates, but Mizuki just grins and says she is off. Back at Shikura's place, Pot Pot peeks out from the covers while he checks his phone. A message pops up inviting him to hang out after school and meet at the station. Shikura's eyes go wide. He throws on clothes, scoops up his clingy slime companion, and heads out into the crisp autumn air, still half thinking about that other world. He barely makes it down the path before a cheerful voice calls his name. Mizuki comes jogging up, all smiles, saying she was just heading to his place and suggesting the three of them hang out together. Pot Pot immediately steals the show. Mizuki clasps her hands and declares the little slime looks absolutely delicious, hearts practically floating around them while Shikura flusters. As they walk side by side, both of them keep starting sentences they cannot quite finish. Shikura wants to tell Mizuki something important. She wants to tell him something too. They finally settle on a quiet bench. Shikura apologizes for suddenly leaving the other day, insisting it was an absolute emergency. Mizuki shakes her head and says she is the one who needed to apologize properly. She admits she still feels like a kid sometimes, but being able to talk face to face like this makes her really glad. Shikura softens and says he feels the same way. Then he takes a breath and starts to explain the unbelievable truth about the other world and Pot Pot. He worries the whole story is way too heavy for anyone to believe. But Mizuki looks straight at him with zero doubt in her eyes and says she believes every word because she has been watching over Shikura-kun all along. Chapter 30 opens on Mizuki-san with the softest, most determined smile you have ever seen. She looks right at Urukara and quietly admits she has been watching over him this whole time. Our ordinary guy just freezes, slime in hand, realizing how long this kind-hearted girl has been in his corner. They stand together in the open air while the little slime bounces with pure excitement. Mizuki takes a breath and asks the question that changes everything. If it is okay with him, could he please take her to that otherworld place too? Urukara's brain short-circuits so hard the slime almost gets squeezed flat. He stammers out a full volume "what," completely unprepared for how serious she sounds. Mizuki does not back down for a second. She steps closer, eyes locked on his, and tells him she wants them to go together. This is not a simple matter and he knows it, but Mizuki is stone serious. She has already made up her mind. Urukara tries the responsible route, reminding her the other world is a dangerous existence. Mizuki answers that is exactly why she wants to stand beside him. He has always been there when she was suffering, and now it is her turn to be there for him. She drops to a quieter tone and begs him not to laugh at what she is about to say. For a long time, she has been researching dungeons and monsters all on her own. Even when her mom got angry and told her it was too much, her heart never stopped racing. A warm flashback hits, little Mizuki listening while a younger Urakara read to her about dungeons. That kindness stuck with her. She decided she wanted to become strong enough to help the one person who was ever gentle with her. Back in the present, she swears she will never hold him or the slime back. Urakara still hesitates, pointing out that her parents are not the free-moving type. He gently tells her she needs to talk to them properly first. Mizuki agrees without argument. The two of them, plus one very loyal slime, head straight for her family's towering home as the sun sets. Whatever happens next, she is all in. Inside the sleek office, her parents are already waiting. After Mizuki started talking about the other world, they quietly investigated and uncovered the dungeon house secret. Her father is not happy about being left in the dark. Dad demands to know why Urukara kept such amazing information secret. Our guy bows his head and apologizes on the spot. The older man stresses that if this ever went public, it would cause absolute chaos, so it has to stay between them. Once the secret is locked down, Dad softens. He sees how determined both kids are and decides he will not stop them. There is just one condition. When they are in trouble, they have to rely on the family. If Urakara can promise that, he is allowed to take Aki with him. The room fills with emotion as Dad admits Urakara once saved his life and he has always wanted to repay that debt. Mom joins in, telling him not to hesitate to accept their support. Just when the warm family moment peaks, Urakara's phone rings. An older gentleman on the other end greets him cheerfully and asks if the dungeon man would like to come east. Urakara blinks, still processing everything that just happened. He politely explains they only just arrived, then glances back at Mizuki and her parents. The man on the phone asks if the people with him are friends. Urukara's answer is quiet, steady, and full of heart. He looks at the little found family standing behind him. The girl who refuses to leave his side, the parents who just gave their blessing, and the overpowered slime that started it all, and smiles. No, he tells the caller. They are not friends, they are family, and whatever comes next in the east, they are facing it together. Out in the endless desert, Kazine and Alice are still catching their breath after everything that just happened. The sky is wide open, the sand stretches forever, and our ordinary guy from another world is already back to doing what he does best, being kind. Alice is struggling to walk, so Kazan simply holds out his hand. No big speech, no hero pose, just a quiet, gentle offer. She takes it, and for a second the whole desert feels a little warmer. Alice even apologizes for yanking him around earlier and asks him to drop the stiff Alice-san stuff. Kazan gets flustered in the most endearing way, promising he'll try harder. Their little slime buddy is right there, soaking up every second of it. With a bright smile, Alice declares they're moving forward together. Kazan can't help thinking how wild it is that a regular guy like him keeps getting tangled up in this fantasy world's biggest messes, and somehow keeps walking out of them. Suddenly, a swirling portal tears open right in front of them. A mysterious goddess-like figure appears in a vision, sensing that someone has slipped free from the last dungeon. Fate, it seems, has already chosen a new path. Alice instantly recognizes the presence and pulls Kazan close. A blazing barrier of light erupts around them, and she realizes this power is meant to keep something or someone out. The desert is about to get a lot less quiet. Light explodes across the dunes. When the glow finally fades, a very familiar yellow blob comes rocketing back like it never left. Kazan barely has time to shout before his overpowered slime companion is diving straight for him. The reunion is pure chaos and pure heart. The slime slams into Kazan's face with the force of pure affection, vibrating with happy puru-puru sounds and declaring how much it missed him. Alice just stares, half amused and half grossed out. Once the slime calms down enough to point the way, the trio heads toward a lone, twisted tree standing in the middle of nowhere. Something about it feels wrong, and the slime's little antenna is already twitching with warning. Out of nowhere, a pack of flaming-eyed hyena beasts bursts from the sand, snarling and ready to tear into anything that moves. Kazan freezes for half a second. Then the slime decides playtime is over. One cheerful cry of "Perun slime bullet" later, and the entire pack is sent flying. The slime ricochets between the beasts like a living cannonball, finishing the fight before Kazan even has to lift a finger. Kindness really did give him the ultimate bodyguard. When the dust settles, the monsters are down for the count, and the slime is proudly taking a well-earned rest. Alice checks on Kazan, who is somehow still completely fine, and they both wonder why the beasts attacked so suddenly. Then Kazan's eyes catch something near the base of the strange tree. He shouts for them to wait and rushes over. Lying in the sand is a silver-haired child, completely collapsed and looking like they've been through absolute hell. Alice drops to her knees and carefully lifts the child. They're still breathing, but just barely. The condition is rough and every second counts. Kazan's face hardens with quiet determination. They can't stay out in the open like this. He decides they need to find a safe place right now and get this kid some real help before it's too late. Out in the scorching wilderness, our kind-hearted hero and Karin spot someone collapsed in the dirt. One look is all it takes. If they do not get water into the stranger right now, things are going to get a whole lot worse. The stranger is a silver-haired girl with soft cat ears, barely conscious and whispering for water. Karin does not hesitate for a second. She is already rushing forward with pure concern written all over her face. They carefully tip a bottle to her lips, and the girl drinks like she has never tasted anything so precious. Our hero watches with that gentle smile of his, simply glad they made it in time. But the moment she comes around fully, her wild instincts flare. Claws flash and she lashes out in pure panic, leaving everyone scrambling. Karin shouts in shock while our hero takes the hit without even flinching. He just stands there brushing it off like it was nothing. The cat-eared girl stares in disbelief, realizing these humans are not the monsters her grandpa warned her about. Her energy suddenly vanishes and she collapses again from pure exhaustion. Our hero steps protectively in front of Karin and keeps his voice calm and kind. He explains they only wanted to help, that the water was freely given and that nobody here means her any harm. The second he offers more water, her eyes light up like stars. She gulps it down with pure joy, and when the bottles keep coming thanks to a little magic, she can hardly believe her luck. Once the panic fades, she finally lets them check her injuries. Deep wounds mark her back and arm, the kind that will not heal with water alone. That is when our hero calls on the one companion who can fix almost anything. Little Puru bounces forward with a cheerful "Purun" and gets to work. Using that incredible dissolve skill, the slime gently cleans every wound and seals them shut like they were never there. The cat girl can only stare in pure amazement. In moments, she is completely healed and full of energy again. Our hero gives Puru a proud little pat while Karin smiles at the wholesome sight. Kindness really does come back around in the best ways. The girl softens completely. She admits these humans are nothing like the terrifying stories she grew up hearing. When Karin gently asks her name, she answers with a shy little smile. Nikona. Her name is Nikona, and Karin instantly declares it the cutest thing she has ever heard. Our hero introduces himself and the ever-loyal Puru, promising the little slime is a trusted partner who would never hurt her. But Nikona is not just thinking of herself. She asks if there is any water left because her mom, dad, and everyone back home are still suffering. The hyena tribe attacked while they searched desperately for something to drink. Her quiet plea hits our hero right in the heart. Without a second thought, he offers to help her entire village. Karin jumps in just as fast, eyes sparkling with determination. Nikona can hardly believe it. These strangers are truly going to follow her home and save everyone. Puru bounces happily at their side as the decision is sealed with bright smiles all around. With Nikona leading the way and Puru ready for anything, the little group sets off toward a village in desperate need. One simple act of kindness is about to snowball into something much bigger, and whatever is waiting for them next is going to test just how far that kindness can go. After a long stretch of desert travel, our guy, his ever-loyal slime Fururu, and their companions finally spot something on the horizon. A village rises out of the sand, and the white-haired cat girl, Nakona, can practically taste home. The ancient words of her people are already whispering in her ears. Fururu bounces happily on our guy's shoulder as they approach the gates. This is Nakona's village, a place of cat beastmen tucked deep in the dunes, but the welcome committee is already watching them with sharp eyes. A black-furred warrior steps forward and freezes the second he sees Nakona. Lady Nakona is back. He can hardly believe it. The whole group is ushered toward the heart of the village while the warrior keeps glancing at the strangers who brought her home. Nakona's mother rushes out and scoops her daughter into a tight hug, tears of pure relief spilling over. She thanks our guy over and over for saving her child from the monsters. Even the stern warrior admits he is a little jealous of how quickly Nakona trusted these outsiders. But the warm reunion hits a wall the moment the cat tribe chief, Jot, appears. He takes one look at the humans and lays down the law. No humans are allowed inside the heart of their tribe. They must leave immediately. Our guy tries to explain they only wanted to help Nakona, but Chief Jot will not budge. Humans and the village are two different matters. The order stands, get out. Nakona's face crumples as the tension thickens. Nakona snaps. She grabs our guy's arm and pours her heart out to her father. These people saved her life when monsters attacked. Not every human is like the ones from the past. She begs him to at least let them stay until sundown. Chief Jot still cannot accept it. He storms off in a rage, declaring he would rather sleep in another room than breathe the same air as humans. The door slams. The room falls silent. Nakona and her mother are left heartbroken on the floor. Later, Nakona's mother quietly serves them the cleanest water the village still has. She explains it has become a true luxury. Our guy realizes just how desperate the water shortage really is. The entire village depends on what little remains. 3 years ago, everything changed. The village once thrived beside a rich river. Then a giant fishworm appeared, poisoned the waters, and the river simply stopped flowing. Ever since that day, the cat tribe has been fighting just to survive. Our guy listens carefully, Fururu perched right beside him. He asks what they can do to help with the water problem. Nakona's brother and the others are already out hunting the worm, but that may not be enough. Then our guy glances at his slime with a spark of an idea. Fururu answers with a bright, determined puru puru. Our guy steps outside the tent, ready to put the little slime's ridiculous power to the test. Nakona watches him go, quietly thanking her brother for bringing these strangers into their lives. Outside, Nakona hugs our guy tight and tells Fururu she believes in him. Our guy simply asks if the slime can handle this. Fururu's answer is pure fire. The tiny yellow blob rockets into the air, glowing brighter and brighter until the sky itself starts to answer. A massive surge of spiritual energy erupts from Fururu. Dark clouds boil across the desert sky. Lightning cracks, and then the impossible happens. Rain, real, life-giving rain begins to pour over the parched village. Villagers pour out of their tents, faces turned upward in pure shock and joy. Nakona and her mother cling to each other as the drops hit their fur. It is raining. After 3 long years, it is finally raining. Even Chief Jot sits up in bed as the sound of rain reaches him. A single drop lands on his hand. He stares at it like it cannot be real. For the first time in years, hope is falling from the sky, and he can only whisper one stunned question. Out in the endless desert, a whole pack of beast folk are sprinting for their lives, ears flat and eyes wide. Something massive is rolling toward them under the sand, and every single one of them knows they have seconds to get clear. The ground itself is heaving. One of the younger cats skids to a stop, staring at the rising dune and yelling that whatever it is, it's coming straight for them. Then the strangest thing happens. Cool drops start hitting the sand. One of the kids tastes the air, completely confused, and mutters that it's a little salty rain, actual rain in the middle of a wasteland. An elderly beastman with a magnificent mustache steps forward, staring at the sky like he's seeing a miracle. He greets the newcomers as if they really are angels who just walked out of a legend. And then a small figure comes flying across the wet sand, shouting one word over and over. "Father!" Nikona crashes straight into the big black-furred chief and clings like she'll never let go again. While father and daughter hold each other, Ren and his bright little slime Pururu watch the rain keep falling. Pururu is bouncing with pure joy, chirping that it's really raining, and Ren just smiles like the whole desert just got a little kinder. The village erupts. People are laughing, dancing in the puddles, shouting that they actually did it. The old chief can barely find the words to thank Ren for this blessing that brought water back to their fading home. Of course, the chief has one burning question. He looks straight at the cheerful yellow blob floating beside Ren and asks who exactly that slime is. Nekona proudly introduces him. Grandpa, his name's Pururu. Pururu immediately steals the show, puffing up and sparkling like the cutest little rain spirit anyone has ever seen. The whole village loses it in the best way, while Ren just stands there wondering how his slime became the main character again. The warm moment doesn't last. The chief's face hardens the second he realizes Nekona ran off alone again. He grabs her shoulders, voice shaking with equal parts anger and pure parental terror, demanding to know where she went and why she keeps throwing herself into danger. Nekona looks tiny under that glare, whispering apologies and that she only wanted to help. Her father pulls her into a fierce hug anyway, making her really promise, never to vanish into danger alone again. Parents worry, that's the deal. Then the chief finally notices the two humans standing quietly nearby. His whole body tenses. Humans, the word alone is enough to put every warrior on edge, and the air in the village suddenly feels a lot colder. Still, he forces himself to bow his head. These particular humans brought the rain that saved his people. He thanks Ren from the bottom of his heart and admits that maybe, just maybe, he can try trusting humans one more time. Ren asks the question hanging over everything. What happened between their tribe and humans? The chief's eyes go distant and hard. Long ago, this place was a paradise of rivers and green. They lived side by side with humans until the day humans brought something with them. That something was the burning giant worm. In a single day, the land was swallowed by sand and flame. Warriors fell trying to stop it. Now only 53 of their entire tribe remain, and at this rate, even those last families will vanish. Ren's fists tighten. Water alone won't fix this. The root of the problem is still out there. He looks the chief straight in the eye and makes a decision that changes everything. If it's all right, Ren says, he wants to join the fight. For Nekona's sake and for his own promise, he and Pururu will help take down the burning giant worm once and for all. The chief stares at him like the boy just offered to punch a mountain, and the real adventure is only beginning. Night has fallen and the hunting party is right on the edge of danger. Everyone can feel it. The territory of something enormous is just ahead, and the order goes out to prepare for combat. For an entire week leading up to this moment, they drilled nonstop. Stamina, sensing presence, formations, tactics, the basics of battle hammered in until they stuck. Even Karen, who admits she lacks raw combat strength, learned to handle a spear for both attack and defense. Their black-furred beastman ally already knows the plan cold. He never dreamed he would one day fight side by side with humans, yet here he is, eyes sharp and ready. Around the campfire, he sketches the enemy's favorite trick in the dirt. First comes the ambush, exactly like this. The only real counter is to surround it from behind before it can finish anyone off. His voice turns heavy. Many of their comrades never survived that opening strike. This enemy has already taken down far too many of his race, and the pain of it still burns. Our hero pulls Karen aside, voice tight with worry. He cannot agree with her charging the front lines. He is the one who has to keep her safe, and even the slime's protection has limits when the cover runs out. He begs her to run the second the moment to flee arrives. Karin only answers that she wants to grow strong enough to protect the people precious to her, so please stay by her side. The little slime sits right there with them, quiet and loyal as ever. Then the ground itself seems to hold its breath. A shadow rises against the sunset, and the true horror of the hunt reveals itself. That monster is Calamity itself. A colossal serpentine beast, wreathed in flame and magic circles, erupts upward, jaws wide enough to swallow the sky. The heat alone is crushing. It is already almost too late. Karin staggers under the pressure while our hero's heart drops. Something he wants to protect is right in front of him. The black-furred warrior snaps the truth into focus. If you have something to protect, then move. That is all the push he needs. He sprints toward Karin as allies explode into motion. The orange-haired fighter and the ever-devoted slime charge in together, shouting that they will definitely protect everyone. The battlefield ignites. Blades flash, spears thrust, and raw power collides with the Calamity's thrashing body. Every fighter pours everything they have into the opening exchange. Explosions bloom across the field. The slime's ridiculous strength flares bright while Karin and the Beastman captain keep the pressure on. For a few heartbeats, it almost feels like they might turn the tide. But the Calamity's power is on a completely different scale. Magic circles multiply, the air itself burns, and the captain's warning cuts through the chaos. This pressure is endless. The ground finally gives way under the slightest extra force. Karin is still mid-charge when the earth opens beneath her feet like a hungry mouth. Her scream tears across the battlefield as she plummets into the darkness. The slime's face freezes in pure panic, and every voice shouts the same desperate name, Karin. Chapter 36 drops us straight into chaos. Karin is right in the middle of a blazing nightmare, and someone is screaming her name as the whole battlefield lights up like a fireworks factory gone wrong. A dark figure gets blasted clean off his feet while a fierce Beastman warrior charges through the smoke, insisting this whole mess is going sideways fast. Visibility is zero and the heat is only getting worse. Then the real problem shows itself. Massive purple magic circles flare to life around a colossal red serpent, and somewhere in the wreckage a voice is weakly calling for Karin. Things have gone from bad to absolutely critical. Our hero and his little yellow slime can only watch, hearts sinking. The Beastman growls that their ally might have already lost the will to keep fighting, and at this rate the entire group is finished. But the Beastman refuses to fold. He steadies himself, eyes locked on those glowing magic circles, and decides it is time for one last desperate gamble. If they cannot stop that monster, nobody is moving forward. With a roar, he launches himself straight at the threat and shouts for cover fire on the magic circles. Our hero and the slime get tossed into the scramble, and the Beastman is already regretting bringing anyone else into this mess. Explosions rip across the field as the Beastman pushes through the pain. He admits complaining will not help anyone now, steadies his grip, and decides they are giving this everything they have got. Lightning cracks and the Beastman becomes a golden blur, driving his spear toward the giant serpent with everything he has. The monster answers with raw fire and fury, turning the whole area into a storm of heat and sparks. The serpent is enormous, scales glowing like molten metal, and every thrash of its body threatens to end the fight instantly. The Beastman knows he cannot pin it alone, so he turns to the one tiny ally who might actually change everything. He calls out to the little yellow one. The situation is terrible, but if Pururu can freeze the monster for even a single moment, they might have a real shot. Our hero barely has time to react before the slime answers with pure determination. Pururu rockets forward like a golden bullet, stretches out, and slams straight into the serpent. In the next heartbeat, the slime unleashes Absolute Zero, the highest tier water skill, flooding the monster with cold so intense it could freeze the air itself. Ice erupts across the serpent while the skill description flashes like a victory banner. The Beastman roars in pure admiration, praises the little yellow powerhouse, and immediately lines up his own finishing move. Now it is the Beastman's turn. He channels the secrets of his fallen clansmen into his spear, leaps high, and drives an earth-shattering thrust powered by something called Earth Penetration. A mysterious light blue jewel flares to life in the middle of it all. The blue energy shot punches forward with railgun force, and the serpent takes the full impact. Even the Beastman is stunned by the jewel's power, muttering that he has never seen anything like it before. Puru bounces over, looking extremely pleased with itself, and the Beastman actually thanks the tiny slime. He cannot wrap his head around how something so small packs that much strength, but he is grateful all the same. Then his eyes lock onto that strange blue jewel again. There has never been anything like it, which can only mean one thing. This might be a major discovery that changes everything they thought they knew. That night, under the quiet dark, a sharp black cat makes a huge discovery that could flip the entire battle. Something about this fire beast is not what it seems, and the cat is already planning the next move. Then the ground shakes and the night explodes into flame. A colossal fire serpent erupts, roaring with enough heat to melt stone, and suddenly the whole area is a blazing nightmare. Meanwhile, our kind-hearted hero is on the ground, crushed by guilt. He keeps replaying the moment he failed to keep Karin safe, whispering that he could not protect her when it counted. But Karin has been watching over Usagi-kun the whole time, and Sturgis is right there making sure everyone is ready to go all out. The decision is locked in: protect the people who matter, no matter the cost. Still, the weight of it all hits him hard. He reaches out, voice cracking with an apology, convinced he somehow chose wrong and left everyone exposed. The fire serpent does not care about apologies. It comes screaming back into the fight, jaws wide and body wreathed in flame, forcing every ally to scramble. A spear-wielding warrior charges in hard, meeting the beast head-on with a furious swing. The serpent answers with raw power, and the clash lights up the whole field. That is when the black cat spots it, a glowing jewel on the serpent's neck. That has to be the weak point, and the cat shouts the news so everyone can hear. Puru the slime lights up with pure determination. The little yellow powerhouse that once needed saving is ready to launch right away and finish this. The serpent thrashes in a storm of fire and force, slamming the warrior aside and turning the ground into a blazing mess. Every near miss feels like the end. Puru answers with a brilliant spiral drill blast that hammers straight into the beast. The jewel takes the hit and the serpent reels, roaring in pure fury. The fight turns into pure chaos as Puru keeps the pressure on, slamming the serpent again and again until the monster is forced back. That tiny slime is absolutely not playing around. When the dust settles for a second, Puru finds the hero all beaten up and gently lands on him. Soft little Puru sounds turn serious as the slime decides enough is enough. Just when it seems the serpent might rise again, green light blooms across the field. A graceful archer steps in, bow already glowing with fresh power. Karin draws her radiant bowstring tight, eyes locked on the target, and calls out for Taishi to get a grip. The next shot is loaded with everything she has. The arrow flies true in a blaze of green light, racing straight toward the fire serpent's weak point. One perfect shot could end this whole nightmare, or light the fuse for something even bigger. The arena is pure chaos and Tasha is right in the middle of it, yelling at herself to get a grip already. One gentle act of kindness started this whole adventure, and now that same kindness is about to be tested against a monster that looks ready to swallow the sky. Our kind-hearted hero blinks in disbelief, still processing everything, while the little slime that never leaves his side just floats there looking perfectly content. He is just happy everyone is still standing. Tasha is not about to let anyone slack off. She reminds him of the promise he made. Nothing was supposed to hurt him, so giving up is simply not an option. That fierce loyalty is exactly why this team works. A brilliant crystal flares to life and raw power explodes outward. Tasha channels everything she has into one dazzling blast that lights up the entire battlefield and slams straight into the giant serpent. She rockets forward without hesitation, but the monster answers with a roar that shakes the ground. Our hero can only groan under the pressure as the beast towers over everyone. The arena is wrecked. A stunned wolf beastman stares at the giant hole torn straight through the floor while someone dangles helplessly, red Kool-Aid dripping, and the whole place feels like it is coming apart. All eyes snap to Tasha as she hovers in a form no one quite understands. Even she is asking herself what she is supposed to do next while the monster still rages below. In a flash, she is pulled into a breathtaking hidden realm of glowing pillars and starry light. It feels strangely like home, and right at the center sits a pedestal holding mysterious jewels that practically call her name. Tasha picks herself up, eyes locked on those jewels. She can feel it in her bones. Whatever power is sleeping here might be the key to turning this entire fight around. Back in the real world, the monster is closing in fast. Our hero steadies himself, vowing he will keep every promise he made, and that not even the jewel will be broken on his watch. That is when the little slime perks up with the one word that always changes everything: fusion. Our hero thanks it from the bottom of his heart for sticking by him, then reaches out without a second thought. Light erupts between them and a magnificent mythical sword materializes in his grip. This is the legendary blade that reshapes itself for its wielder, the strongest weapon in the entire world, and it just chose him. With the slime's power flowing through him, there is no way they can lose. He steadies the glowing blade, takes a breath, and charges straight at the fire-breathing serpent that has been terrorizing everyone. Tasha's heart nearly stops as she watches him run toward danger. She whispers that he must never leave her side, right as the monster's massive jaws open wide and the ground trembles under its weight. Suddenly, a confident blonde warrior crashes into the fight with a blazing strike and a clear warning: nobody lays a hand on Karen. In one smooth motion, he is right there beside Tasha, ready to back her up. Tasha steadies her bow, the blonde raises his sword, and together they launch a breathtaking combo. Arrows of pure light and razor-sharp slashes hammer the serpent from every angle while she vows to finish this properly. A massive cage of radiant energy slams shut around the thrashing monster, locking it in place as Tasha pours on even more power. The whole arena holds its breath watching the beast struggle against the glowing prison. The blonde warrior gathers every ounce of strength for one final overwhelming strike, while the little slime quietly wonders if this is the moment it finally kept everyone's promise. The monster is trapped, the team is united, and the next swing could change everything. The final clash erupts in a blaze of power as the enemy cage shatters and everything the villains built comes crashing down in one brilliant instant. Our side has been waiting for exactly this opening, and they take it without hesitation. The monstrous threat is finished in a burst of raw force, leaving the wolf warrior staring in pure disbelief. They really pulled it off. Those reckless, stubborn friends of his actually did it. Kaoru hits the ground hard, sword still in hand, while Tasha can barely believe her eyes. Together with the slime, they somehow turn the whole fight around, and the impossible victory is finally theirs. As the dust settles and the last light of battle fades into a quiet sunset, Kaoru wonders if the stars themselves were trying to guide them here. The long, hard fight comes to an end just like that. A new screen pops up for Kaoru, and just like that, the adventure is ready to begin all over again. But first, it is time to celebrate the win the only way this crew knows how. Around the campfire, the whole group raises their mugs high. Even the Black Wolf admits that if they had lost, things would have gotten ugly fast. But tonight, they get to laugh about it instead. The little slime is bouncing with pure joy, calling Kaoru amazing, while the wolf gets playfully called out for finally remembering his own name. He tries to play it cool, but that blush gives him away completely. Victory is theirs and everyone knows it. Cups are raised, cheers ring out, and for one warm night by the fire, it feels like nothing in the world can touch them. Tasha quietly admits she almost believed the worst might come true, but then a familiar bough on the ground catches everyone's eye. Something small and unexpected is about to walk right into camp. A tiny white-haired cat girl appears out of nowhere and the wolf freezes. Miao-chan, his little daughter, has somehow found them and she immediately launches herself at her big sister in a tearful hug. Miao-chan explains she was freezing and so worried she just had to come. Tasha holds her close, telling her she did really well, while the wolf looks ready to explode with a mix of relief and pure dad panic. The scolding starts immediately. He told her it was too dangerous, that being reckless is not admirable, but Miao-chan has had enough of empty words. She calls him a big dummy dad and lets all the fear she has been holding finally spill out. She just wanted one real promise that he would come home. The wolf goes quiet, then pulls his daughter into the tightest hug and gives her exactly what she needs, a true promise that from now on he will always return. They seal it with a pinky promise under the soft glow of the fire, and even Kaoru and Tasha, watching from the side, cannot help smiling. It is the kind of wholesome moment that makes every hard fight worth it. With the family reunion settled, curiosity takes over. Tasha decides it is finally time to share her own story, and everyone gathers closer around the fire to listen. She begins quietly, admitting she still does not fully understand it herself. One moment she was somewhere else, and the next she woke up inside a strange shrine that felt nothing like home. As Tasha keeps talking about the person who saved her and the dual nature she still cannot explain, the night grows deeper. Far away, two sharp-dressed figures stand in the shadows, watching and waiting for whatever comes next. Chapter 40 kicks off on a rough note. A blonde guy is stuck in a grimy alley, muttering that he cannot even scrape together a decent living in this town. He has no idea the universe is about to hand him something far worse than empty pockets. A strange red cylinder clatters near his feet. A glowing crimson eye watches from the shadows while he freezes, completely unaware he has just stepped into a trap. He stammers an apology, but a cool voice cuts him off. A mysterious purple-haired woman appears out of nowhere and calmly tells him this is their first meeting. She already knows exactly who he is and what he wishes for. She claims she came to help with his deepest desires, and the blonde guy can only stare in confusion. Dark energy starts swirling around her as she insists she understands his feelings all too well. She invites him to come with her. The next second, the word temptation explodes across the scene and shadowy power engulfs him completely. Whatever kindness he thought he was receiving just flipped into pure danger. Chains snap around his wrists and a glowing red magic circle lights up beneath him. He is yanked into the air, completely helpless, while the woman casually remarks that he is lucky to get such a great hotel stay. Purple lightning tears through him as she demands he show her his seed. Pain rips across his face and she promises it will all be over soon. This poor guy just became the latest victim of something truly sinister. Meanwhile, far away under a bright open sky, our kind-hearted hero and his friends stare up at a dark hole punched through the clouds. This is exactly where that mysterious seed fell, and they are ready to investigate. The hero turns to his ridiculously overpowered slime buddy with a grin. "Puru, can you be a cannon down there?" One cheerful Puru later, and the little yellow blob launches itself like a living missile straight into the unknown. Puru slams into the ground in a burst of light and nearly flattens a massive black beast man who is just minding his own business. The whole group drops down right after, and suddenly everyone is face to face in the middle of nowhere. The blonde girl freezes in shock. She just saw her own face among demi-humans and cannot believe it. The black beastman captain mutters that this has to be the right place, then spots something half buried in the sand. He digs up an old book and starts flipping through it. His silver-haired daughter bounces over excitedly, asking if he found something rare, then tackles him in a hug while teasing that he is acting super suspicious. Pages suddenly scatter everywhere. The captain's face darkens as he stares at one particular photo. "This is the worst," he growls, while his daughter picks up a fallen page and freezes with wide green eyes. The photo shows two people who look strikingly familiar. The whole group gathers around and the captain quietly says her name is Anna. Every beastman present goes, "Gone," silent. "Do you all know these people?" Then the silver-haired girl gasps and holds up a green cat-shaped necklace. "Look! It is the exact same necklace her mother always wears." The blonde girl confirms Anna has an identical one, and suddenly every piece starts clicking into place. The captain's expression turns lethal serious. He gathers everyone close and says there is something important they have to hear. The truth is, and right there the chapter cuts off, leaving the entire group and us hanging on the biggest family secret yet. Nakona's adoptive parents are having a quiet, heavy talk under the weight of a secret they've carried for years. The white-haired girl they raised as their own still doesn't know the full truth, and they're torn about whether now is finally the right moment to tell her. Luke agrees it's time. The big black-furred captain pulls little Nakona close, steadying himself for the hardest conversation of his life. He asks her to stay calm and listen carefully. He shows her an old photo. The person standing there, he gently explains, is her birth mother. Nakona's eyes go wide as the world she thought she knew suddenly shifts under her feet. Before the shock can fully settle, a soldier bursts in with urgent news. The subjugation of the giant moon was a complete success. The entire Beastman camp erupts as the report spreads. Captain Luke throws his arms wide and announces it to everyone. They no longer have to live in fear. The crowd of beastmen cheers like the weight of generations just lifted off their shoulders. A kneeling warrior credits the victory to the humans and the little slime who stood with them. Our ordinary guy, the blonde girl, and that ridiculously devoted yellow slime just became living legends to an entire people. Luke bows deeply, voice thick with gratitude. He calls them heroes, but our guy waves it off with that same gentle humility that once saved a pathetic little slime. Kindness, once again, is rewriting destinies. Then Luke brings out something far more precious than praise, a legendary weapon, the holy celestial bow Artemis, said to have been wielded by the goddess herself against the ancient moon monsters. The bow glows with divine light as Luke explains its history. But why hand something so important over to outsiders? Even the beastmen were curious, so they returned to the place where the weapon first appeared. The blonde girl recounts finding a shrine that bridges outer space and this world. She was alone there when something gentle and warm reached out to her, a presence that felt like it had been waiting forever. She swears she heard a soft voice, one that felt familiar across lifetimes. Our guy wonders if it was an angel. Whatever it was, the shrine and the bow chose her, and through her chose all of them. Later that night, under a brilliant moon, Luke and his partner finally get a quiet moment alone. The dark fog has lifted, the moon is free, and the two of them can at last talk about the secret they've been guarding. They remember digging like moles through the angel's resting place and pulling out a faded photo of Nakona's birth parents. Nakona had refused to come out of the pit that day, and Luke had tried to bury the truth to protect her smile. But the guilt has weighed on them both. Sitting together beneath the stars, they remind each other of the promise they made the day they first found her. Nakona is their child, no matter what Red Kool-Aid says, and she always will be. They recall the very first words Luke ever spoke to the tiny abandoned girl, that he wanted to protect someone's smile. A glowing memory of baby Nakona surrounded by flowers fills the night, pure and warm. Nakona herself appears in the memory, smiling through tears and telling them it's okay. Their love raised her more than anyone else's ever could. Luke wipes his eyes while his partner pulls him close. They decide tomorrow they will sit down with Nakona and tell her everything, together. High above, the freed moon watches over a little white-haired girl who is quietly staring at the stars, thinking about the real father and mother she never knew. Morning light spills over the quiet camp, and our little group is finally getting a proper start to the day. The tent flaps open to a spread of warm food, and everyone gathers like this is the most natural thing in the world. That simple kindness that started everything is still holding them together. Nanona sits right in the middle of it all, silver hair catching the sun while the tiniest green companion gets held up for inspection. Breakfast turns into a full feast of pancakes and honey, and even the little black cat kids dive in without a second thought. You can practically feel how far this once weak slime and its savior have come. The brown-haired guy still can't quite believe this is his life now, watching beastkin kids demolish plates like it's nothing. He quietly notes the honey trick that makes everything taste better, while Nanona's bright green eyes light up at the promise of seconds. Pure, wholesome chaos, exactly the reward kindness deserves. And there it is, the little slime itself, purring like the happiest creature alive and thanking everyone for the meal. The whole camp settles into a big outdoor circle, plates everywhere, while the big black cat guardian declares himself stuffed. Even the glasses-wearing ally can't help smiling at the scene. Conversation drifts, and suddenly Nanona has something she needs to say. She thanks the group for saving her back when the stones nearly finished her off, admitting she only learned her own name because someone spoke it with care. That quiet vow still echoes between them. The mood softens further when she gets asked about her parents. Nanona's smile falters. She has never met them and wouldn't even know what to say if she did. The little black cat siblings nearby can only watch as the weight of that missing piece settles over the picnic. Someone tries to smooth things over, but Nanona is already lost in memory. The scene shifts years back to a sunlit home where a silver-haired father cradles a brand new baby girl. Pure joy on every face. They had already chosen a name, and the whole family felt complete. Even the big black cat relative, Zeit, stands watch with a rare, soft expression, joking that he has never been a father either. A welcome card, nervous laughter, and the quiet hope that this unique little name will bring nothing but happiness. For one perfect moment, everything is warm. But the very next day shatters it. A sudden crash brings the parents rushing in, only to find something terribly wrong. A dark bottle, a forced drink, and Zeit's horrified face as the truth lands. Someone has taken a step that can never be undone. Red Kool-Aid pools across the floor beside a fallen necklace. Zeit collapses under the weight of what he has done, whispering that he only wanted more smiles for the family. The silver-haired father can only stare as the life they built slips away in a single morning. Back in the present, Nanona's voice is quiet as she finishes the tale. Those tiny memories of three people who once felt like a real family are all she has left. The man who caused it all simply walked away afterward, leaving nothing behind, as if he had never existed. Zeit, now older and carrying the title of chief, still searches for answers in an empty room. He cannot forgive what happened, and the question of where that man is now burns hotter than ever. Outside the village, the wind feels just a little too still. A sudden shout cuts through the quiet. Something is wrong outside. Zeit bursts from the tent just as flames roar to life across the ground. The peaceful morning has twisted into pure chaos in the blink of an eye. Through the fire stands a long-haired figure in red, calm as can be while the world burns around them. They call the whole tragedy nothing more than a simple deception, and the way they look at the village says this is only the beginning. Nanona and the others can only watch as the flames climb higher and that mysterious figure steps forward. Whatever peace the camp had this morning is gone, and the past just crashed straight into the present with a vengeance. Next time, we find out exactly who lit the match, and whether the strongest slime's devotion is enough to protect everyone when the real fight begins.